And we're live.
Yes.
Live stream number 2 in Randroid's Dojo. Check out the sign. Got a new sign. It's LED, but it looks like neon. Do this. Pretty sick.
Seizure warning.
Kite. All right. What else fanciness do we add to the setup here? We got music. Okay, throw that on whenever we want. And we've got this is really cool. You guys will actually see this because we only got one monitor right now. But I can switch this over to my phone, and then we get this. What's up? Inside you in the Randroid's Dojo, behind the scenes. Look at our setup. Our stream deck. We got a new stream deck set up. Our keyboard. Our mic. Okay, that's enough. We're done. We're done. But pretty sick, right? Don't know when we'll need it, but it's cool to have.
Yeah, of course.
All right, and you're gonna mess around with adding additional stream deck plugins, right?
Of course, of course.
All right, for reals, we do have something planned today. Miguel, tell them what our next feature in Pseudo Paradox is going to be.
Don't we got to make the buckets? Like collections and stuff?
Speaking to the mic. Let the people know.
Collections and the bucket thing.
Yes, so what he's referring to, I'm trying to bring up stream so I can see our chat, because, we got so many live stream viewers. It's a total lie. We do not. But you never know.
Never, ever.
We could.
Never.
We could.
Sometimes.
1 minute ago.
I got it up.
This is the old one?
I got it up.
You got it up. Okay. We'll keep it muted and watch the chat. I want you to respond to all of our fans because, this channel is going to grow big. What did I say? We have seven videos, and this is our second stream on top of that.
Yes, it is.
Cool. All right. But as he said, we're going to introduce collections, or the idea of having a bucket to store data, right, in our code.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of data, though, are we storing?
That good stuff.
What's the point of storing this data? Like, what's the feature? Tell them about the cool feature.
Because
right now our guy just walks around,
walks
right?
through the door.
Okay.
And then we got to put in the bucket where he's been and stuff, right? Like his coordinates? No, right?
Yeah. You're close. Okay, so you're talking nonsense. So let the people understand how our game works. What is this guy doing? He's walking around a room.
He's walking around a room.
What's this text up here?
It's the time.
The time. Okay,
time.
So he's got some time in this world. That's his clock. It's hours, minutes, seconds. And this is obviously the art is placeholder, but there's a door. You can't really see that it's a door, but there is a door.
There's it right there.
And I walk into it. What happens? Where am I?
Teleported to a different time.
What?
In the same room.
Clock changed. I'm in the same room. Clock has changed. Okay, so the idea here is a time travel looping game, right? Kind of 12 minutes-ish. Not really, because it's not story-driven, but it's more going to be puzzle-driven. But the idea is, every time you go through a door, you're going to be taken to a different time. Maybe random, we don't know. We're just playing around. We're going to see what's fun. We're going to add different mechanics as we go. But what we want next is to have another instance of myself, the guy, the character, who's already walked around the room at the previous time, and his moves are being recorded. Every step he took was recorded in code. Then when I went through the door, it teleported me to the future, the past, whatever, something. Then when I come back to the first time, I will see a version of myself.
Wow.
Walking the movements that I previously had walked. Wouldn't that be sick? That's the feature we want to play around with. Obviously, right now, every time we go through the door, I think it just resets to like 12 something, 12:10.
12:10.
12 minutes reference there if you guys ever played that game.
Easter egg.
Easter egg. But what we really want to be able to do to test this feature is go back to the 7 o'clock or whatever it is when we first start the game. Let me check it out. When we start the game, it is
7:28. 7:38. 7:28.
7:28.
Oh, I knew it.
So, like, say I'm doing a circle, boom. That's 5 seconds of me doing a circle, 10 seconds. When we jump back to the door, let's go back to, I don't know, 7:28:05, whatever, right? And you're going to see me already in motion. a version of me, just AI operated, doing the same movements. And then you think to yourself, but what happens if I bump into them?
That's what I was.
Physics?
That's what I was
Aren't they going to
thinking.
throw them off track? Isn't that going to be a paradox? No, because paradoxes are impossible. But in this game,
how do you know that?
Pseudo-paradox, you get to explore what would actually happen if these physical things collided again through time. So that's the whole point of this game and sandbox that we're going to play with, that we're creating. Okay, let's jump into the code.
No.
As a recap, we have our third-person movement controller. So this runs once per frame.
Beautiful.
It tracks the current, what did we say, keyboard movements, right? It's not the mouse, but it's actually the keyboard. If I press up, doesn't matter if the mouse is looking behind me. If I press up, the character's going to walk up in the game. And that's what this is doing. It's getting its direction, making sure that you're actually got some magnitude on the direction, meaning it's actually going in a direction. And then does some crazy math here.
That is interesting.
To make sure you have the proper rotation. And then what does it really do here, though? It tells the controller to move. So it's telling the actual player controller component that's on the controller to move in that direction at a certain speed, depending, and multiplied by the delta, which is the time between the frames, right? Because you want to just animate it really fast, rapidly, 60 frames per second. You can't even tell it's an animation. All right, and then you want to set a float on the animator. The variable that we set up is called forward, set up in a previous stream probably months ago, but check it out. That's under the pseudo-paradox playlist. All right, and what does that variable actually do, though, when you set it on the animator? We talked about it in the end of the last stream. The animator, blend trees, forward and strafe. Remember how it's...
Strafe?
Yeah, it blends and decides what animation to use, because there's different bones and stuff are moving in different ways depending on what kind of animation you're doing. Like, for instance, we could have a jump animation that would execute if our variable called, I don't know, height was changed, but we don't have that. We only have walking, so that's why you change the forward variable. And then what happens if you are not holding down a keyboard key or not moving in a direction? What did we do last stream?
Oh yeah, he just kept walking when you stopped, right?
Yeah, his animation would just no longer. Now we set his forward variable back to 0.0f because it's a float, and the animation that plays is the idle.
It's gone.
Idle. No, it's idle.
Oh, it's idle. I mean, it doesn't walk anymore.
So let's check that out. Confirm that's still working. Didn't even change anything. What's it loading? Come on. Okay, so you see how he's kind of way. Ooh. That's an idle animation. I'm walking, idling. Going backwards, right, back, left.
He's not walking anymore.
We fixed that. Cool. All right. We got the clock last time. We got the movement animation fix. Speaking of the clock, so how does that work? Well, the clock is text using TMP. Text Mesh Pro. All right, the new library in Unity for text. And it takes a starting time. We just kind of wrap this. It's called wrapping because we took 3 things and put it into one thing. It could be one thing wrapped in another thing, but in this case, 3 things. It's the hour, minute, and second wrapped up into a time container. That's a simple little property class here. And that way we can pass in the starting time and then just forward it along to a function on the clock object called change time. So what does this say? When you stay inside the trigger, on trigger stay, and the other collider staying, the other being us in this case, we step into that box that's right in front of the door, the trigger. It's going to grab our transform, which has our position, and then it's going to set a new position, which is always a vector 3, right?
Yeah.
X, Y, Z. And it sets the clock to the new time. What is the time? Well, it's whatever we put in the door trigger.
7:28.
Yep. All right, so I think that pretty much explains it. The clock itself, we said this text, I don't forget exactly what it is. 12:10?
12:10.
Yeah. The Text Mesh Pro itself, we reference its text property. That's what we set the current date time, which is whatever's actually passed to it. string version of that, which is represented in hours, minutes, and seconds. So this function toString takes the format that you want to convert the time to, because the time is actually a date time element, believe it or not, when it first starts, at least the clock. All right, and then what we do every frame is we make sure to update the clock. So every frame we update a partial second, not a full second, because there's like 60 frames in a second, right?
That's crazy.
So we use this delta time variable to know how much time has passed between frames, and that's how much we get incremented by. Okay, lastly, we have the change time function, which we said we use when you hit a trigger. So a trigger will boom, give it a new time. It creates a new date time based on the hour, minute, second. Doesn't give a crap about the actual date. It says 1995, 1999, whatever.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
it is. This game's in the past. Did you know that, Miguel?
I did not actually know that. I
Well,
think
it's
I
time travel.
I put it as 1999.
Maybe next time it will be when we were born, 2014.
2003. Yes,
I don't know when
2014.
kids are born.
2014.
I think your brother was born in 2014. I don't know.
Probably.
All right.
I'm old.
You are old now. Old man. Okay. So what I did not get to is writing test. So this is a Unity project. It's built off of C# and library called Model Behavior and Unity Engine library. And there's a way to test C# code in Visual Studio Code. Right, unit test that will test like specific functions, for example. I could test the change time function to make sure that it is setting the current time to a date time representation of that I pass in. So like I could, for example, write a test to make sure it is 1999 after this is called. Anyways, but we don't have that set up right now. I still need to get that set up. But in the meantime, we're gonna hack away, the hackers we are.
Hacker man.
Shamefully, so shamefully. No, definitely part of the dojo is going to be testing and better software engineering practices, but we're keeping it light and simple for now. And so we need to write some new code. Where should that code live? This code is going to be responsible for storing the current position and time, right? Based on its time, the key in the bucket will be the time, and the value will be the position. So like a dictionary or something that has a key value lookup. So it probably
Time container.
not time container, because time container is just meant to house those three properties. That's it.
Of course.
But something, it could be on the player because it's the player that's position is changing, or it could be an object that's on the player. Whatever, I don't know. I'm thinking off the top of my head, is it an effect? No. Better core? No. Geometry? No, it's definitely not geometry. Is it UI? It's not UI. It's business logic. That's what you call your game logic. It's game logic, right? So where does game logic go in our project? We could put it under the player, but I think it's really more like effects.
It has to.
Effects. For now.
For now.
For now. Okay, but I mean, we really don't even need to do an object. Do we need an object? I'm talking. Do we need an object? Can this all be purely done in code? Because who knows my position?
Who knows your position?
Yeah, which component, which code knows my position? Isn't it third person movement? Doesn't he already know my position? Isn't that what transform dot position is? Or in this case, they're referencing rotation, but
No.
pretty sure I could also say, if I wanted to, every update step. So we'll leave this code where it is. Actually, you know what? I know I'm jumping all over the place, but this update function is just messy.
Of course.
There's too much crap in it. Before we add any more crap in it, I want to put this in its own little, I want to abstract it or encapsulate it in its own function that update will call. What does this code do? We talked about it in the beginning.
Move you?
It moves you, basically, right? So it's in a function called, oh, sorry, my shortcuts don't actually work. I don't know what the refactor is here, refactor tools. but there should be a way to extract a function. Bum, bum, bum. Tools, code, build, debug. Where is it? Might have to install something. Edit. Cut. No. Refactor. Found it. Extract method. Okay. There's a
Control M
method in this case because this is a class. All right. They named a new method. That's not very helpful. What is it actually doing? We just said it does. Oh man, I didn't type fast enough.
Move character. It's broken now.
What was the shortcut? When I went to edit under refactor, extract method was Control M.
Or R.
Okay, and we'll name it move character. Sure.
Character movement.
And the whole thing is called third person movement, but it's like move. I think move character is fine. Okay, boom. Now update does move character. Much simpler. If you want to know how it does it, you can read all this crap, but we don't really care. We just want to look at this high level function. That's a private function. You asked when we would use private. Here's an example when we use private, right?
Doesn't show.
Cool. No one needs to call move character. The game engine just needs to call update, and we'll take care of the rest. But the other thing we could do here is store position. Boom. What?
What just happened?
What?
Are you?
So
oh my
is red. What does
Yeah.
red mean?
There's nothing calling it, or it's calling nothing, or
The name
doesn't exist.
store position does not exist. Right. How do I solve that?
put it somewhere.
Yes. So I can take the tip here, the what is it saying? Whatever you call this pop up IntelliSense. I'm trying to find the shortcut. Show potential fixes. It says Alt Enter or Control Plus. We'll try Control Plus. Control Plus. Control Plus.
Alt
Control Plus.
Alt Enter.
Alt Enter. There we go. Extract method? No. Extract local? No. Generate method? Introduce local store?
Generate.
Generate. Exactly. Good guess. All right. So we have another private function that goes store position. It doesn't do anything right now. So what does it do? Automatically for us, it says throw new not implemented exception. So quick chat about what exceptions are. Exceptions are crashes, basically. They're warnings. They're saying your code did something it was not supposed to do. You knew it could do it, so you put in this code here to throw the exception. You throw it at the game engine or the app or whatever, and you say blow up, or maybe report an error through the log, or maybe show something on the screen, whatever. But the default is blow up. So if I actually run this without implementing it, it will
blow up.
It will blow up, or possibly the game engine will catch it and just log an error. That's also possible, depending on what Unity decides to do with it. It's good when you're developing to develop in little pieces like this. The next piece I'm going to introduce you to is the coding with a test. But for now, what we're doing is we're testing manually after implementing a small piece of code. So that code should do nothing except blow up. But it should be called every time, every frame.
Blow up every frame.
It should blow up.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, it does blow up every frame. Okay, so it doesn't crash the game. So Unity, I guess, is capturing all
400 already. 400.
It will eventually probably. Well, it's just a log, so it probably will be fine. But it's potentially when you have stuff looping like this could run out of memory, for example. But it's fine because there's only one. Like it's set up to be once a frame. It's not like speeding up. So it's just 60 times a second. It's going to log this error basically. But this lets us know during development that we haven't finished implementing that method. Okay, fine. We knew that. Next step. What do we actually want this guy to do?
Store position.
Store position, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what is our position? How about instead of storing it, we start by logging it out?
Log our current position.
Okay. How do we do that? So, first I'll put in a string that says current position, so that when we read the log, we know that. And then I will add. Actually, I don't know if console lets me do this. No, it doesn't. Stupid. Maybe it does, and I'm stupid. There we go. Let's try this. Yeah, that doesn't take a second run. That's fine. What we can do is this.
$sign.
Nope. That's but it's in TypeScript. How do we do it? Oh, is it not console.log? Oh, it's not console.log. We ran through this last time. Do you remember what it was? It was system.console.
Oh yeah, console. I remember that.
Console dot. I thought it was log.
Debug? No, that was.
No, it might be debug. Debug.
Log. I remember debug.log.
Rusty.
The only log that works for me is debug.
Log. It's like right log. Right line. Right line. Yeah. Got there eventually.
Yeah.
Kind of. No. All right. Let's see if this works. Current thing.
Thang-a-lang.
Text. Whatever.
Oh,
That's
snaps.
it. Okay, so you can pass multiple strings and it'll print them both, but I don't want the second view string. I want it to be the actual current position.
Mhm.
So how do I get the current position? Current position. Keep in mind that this lives on. This script lives on. Oh, this script passes in the controller, the cam, and the animator. Okay, so I have access to those three things. How can I get the position?
Maybe the character
Which
controller?
one of those three things
The
would have
character controller?
character controller, right? I mean, the cam is a transform, so it also has a position, but we don't care about the camera's
No, we don't.
position. We care about the player's position. So you're right. Controller, which is the player, dot.
Get.
What's his position? How do I get his position from controller? Component.
Does it get something?
No, it's a property, so you don't have to call get. You can just say whatever the thing is.
Transform.
It could be position, but I think it's it's
Transform dot position.
dot position.
Oh yeah.
You knew it. I know you knew it. Okay, so let's see if that works. And I don't need system here. See how it's gray. So what I can do is do
System.
What I can do is remember the Control Plus doesn't work. So what was the other one?
Alt enter.
Alt Enter, and then it says simplify. Boom.
Woo!
Simplify.
Po.
Right. Save. What's the shortcut to save?
It's red.
Control S. What's red?
Po.
Ah, good catch. Position. Okay. Control S. Great.
Beautiful.
And it recompiles. We got this to clear errors on restart. So let's restart. Should clear all the old errors, and instead, what should we see? A reframe
Beautiful. Nice.
in the log. What should be there?
Position? No.
Yeah, the position. That's not why.
I don't know. It's not showing.
It's
Oh.
not saved.
It's private?
No, I don't think that's the way to log.
I don't know.
What is it? You want it to show up in Unity. It's not console.writeline. It's something else.
Debug.log.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I know it for a fact.
It didn't work though.
Because we had the other thing in front of it.
Debug.log.
Beautiful, that works.
And this does not take two parameters. So instead we'll do. Oops, what happened there?
Something popped up over here. Oh, you're highlighted. You're. Oh, there you go.
Okay, so how do I get this to actually evaluate this instead of just being a string? Oh, I know. I can do it like this. Do plus.
Beautiful.
So I'll add the string, whatever this is, it will convert it to a string and add it to the end of this string. Okay, Control S. Boom, 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 boom. No comments?
Should pop up now.
Okay, here we go.
I trust it. I trust in debug.log. It's my best friend.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay. His position is not changing. If I move, does his position change? Too many logs to tell, but
Yep.
it's walk over to this corner. There's gonna be a auto scroll feature.
You click the middle button down, right? Click the middle button.
Collapse. Editor. The middle button?
Click the mouse button down. Oh wait, click it down one more time. It usually works, usually on websites.
No, there's a way to auto scroll to the latest. I just don't know. pause on there. Whatever. This is not going to last long. Okay,
No.
so we can log it out to the console. We want to write it down more permanently. We don't want it to disappear. It can disappear when we stop running the game, so we don't need to save it to the hard disk. We don't need to save it to a database. We don't need to save it to the cloud. We just need to save it in the RAM, the memory that's running while the game's running. It can disappear after everything is no longer on the stack. So, how do you do that?
I have no idea.
What is the programming jargon for storing something in code like that? We talked about it. You mentioned it at the beginning of the stream.
Did I?
Well, we're kind of doing it here, right? We're storing the speed. We're not changing it, but we're storing it in a variable. What type of variable do we want to use?
Oh. No. A bucket!
What kind of bucket?
Oh,
What's a bucket?
wow.
Bucket's not what it's really called. That's what I called it.
We're going
What
to
is
store it
really
in
called?
a collection.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk collections. What kind of collections do we have? So there's different types of basic data. So in this case, a float is what? What is a float? We've talked about it.
The float is a fraction. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, fraction.
Float is a number, but it's
Number.
decimal place. It has decimal places. Okay, and then the other ones are strings, text, right? We know about that one. Vector 3 is not like a basic variable, but it's XYZ, right?
Yeah.
We know what vector is. And there's more complicated types like character controller, transform, animator. Those are technically types, but the most basic types usually are lowercase. You see how float is lowercase? Okay, so that means it comes with the language, C#. And so there's other things that come with the language, or maybe other libraries that are so common. They might be capitalized, might not, I don't know. But like, let's look at string, I said was one. There's Boolean, or bool.
Boolean.
A bool.
I know about that
So
one.
a bool can be, is
I learned that a long time ago.
dead. Equals what values can a bool be?
A long time. I don't know.
Can I put a number? Can I say 1.0f? That's a float. Can I do that?
I don't think so.
No. Can I put some text? No. What can a bool be?
Could be just a whole number. I don't know.
It can't be 5, but it can be 0, I think. No, it can't even be 0. What it is true or false.
Oh.
It's a flag, on or off. So it can be false, which is written out like that,
true
not
or
in
false.
strings, or true. Sometimes 0 represents false and 1 represents true. There's also the capital B Boolean, which is like a higher level class that has other features to it. So I could say is dead equals, and in this case I think I can use a number. No. Oh, I have a new Boolean 0. No, I said new Boolean.
Boolean.
I don't know what keeps defaulting there. I said Boolean.
Boom.
Yeah, it doesn't like it. Whatever. We don't need to use that. What we actually need is something that stores two things: a key and a value. The key being the current time in hours, minutes, seconds. We don't care about microseconds. We don't care about day. We just hours, minutes, seconds for now. As a key, so like as text, a key. And then you look things up with that key. You look up a position. And obviously it can only store one version of the position, because if I go back to the same time, exact time, and I enter another value at that time, it's going to overwrite the last one. But that's fine for our game for now. It might be more complicated when we want 3, 4, 5 instances of ourselves all walking around at the same time. But for now, let's assume you can only have one other instance of yourself, and you as well. And you will be writing to that time, but you'll be writing to that time maybe like a microsecond later after you've already moved the previous character, and then maybe you're overwriting his position, whatever. For now, our basic requirement is just to be able to store the position and overwrite it every time you go back to that exact moment. Okay, so store the position for a moment in time. You need a dictionary. So in C#, what can we use for that? Dictionary. Not set. A set can only hold, doesn't have, but we talked about how we can use arrays, but those are number oriented. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are index oriented. For dictionary, we want, I actually don't remember what they call it in, what the heck do we call it in the C sharp? I'm so rusty in the C sharp. C sharp dictionary. Oh, it is actually dictionary.
System.collections.generic.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Okay, so dictionary, and you have to specify what the key values, right? So what type are the key values? We'll use time container as the first one because we need hours, minutes, seconds. And the second thing, so that's the key, and the value will be of what type to position. So what is that? It's a transform dot position.
Yeah.
Which is what? I think it's a vector 3, right? Aren't transform dot positions vector 3?
Yeah.
I think so.
The direction, yeah. Horizontal,
okay, we're going to call this bucket what? For now, it's called bucket, okay? Equals nothing. I don't know. I guess I got to start a new dictionary. What? Doesn't like it. Why? What's wrong with syntax?
Dictionary could not be found. T key, take a, free take a, string.
Maybe it has to be basic properties. So let's change this to text string. This one, I guess, string as well. It's kind of annoying. And then we don't need to specify it again. Smart enough to realize what it should be. Okay, let's see if that worked. Does not like it. Why? Oh no, I'm used to my Mac key. Shortcuts. Okay. Copy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Better. Nope, not better. I think we just need to import, to be honest. So,
Just
Alt
two
enter.
lines.
Alt enter. Using systems. Yeah, we just need to import it. Daw. So let's see if we can actually do something more complicated. What was it again? What's the key? What type is the key?
T key, transform, time container.
Okay, and what was the value gonna be?
The value.
What's the position?
Transform
Transfer position.
Yeah.
But what is that? What kind of object is that? It's XYZ. What is XYZ?
Oh, vector 3.
Yeah.
Snaps.
Okay. Let's actually call this. Okay, so it's storing. We'll call it time to position.
Oh yeah.
Date. Okay. For now. And
Aaron, get out.
these
We gotta
tabs
do
are
that.
wrong, so don't need these.
Too many lines, man.
Let's to put this on. Oh, too many angle brackets there. Good catch. No lines on any line. I don't like that. Change that.
Beautiful. It doesn't like it. What's
Does
going
not
on?
like it.
It's not green. T key, T value. Guess you need that T key.
Maybe I do need it.
Maybe T key.
C# is dumber than I thought.
Ooh. Got
Does need
him.
it. Oh man. C# used to be the most up-to-date language. Now it doesn't have basic features. Maybe I have it wrong. Maybe it's this one. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe it's this one that's not needed.
Oh, it's needed. Oh yeah. It's
Nope.
yeah.
Not dumb, guys. Okay, I'm dumb, but that's irrelevant. Okay, and it doesn't like this. It's saying it should be what? Capitalized private number that can be removed as the value size. Oh, it's saying I never use it. Okay, so we haven't changed anything. We're still outputting the position. But we have this empty bucket now,
Mm-hmm.
this dictionary that's just empty.
Gotta use it.
If I try to read from it, it won't have anything. I can say, give me the position for 5:06:30, and it will have nothing. And it will probably return back null or empty, something, just nothing, not a position.
Mm.
All right, but I want it to be able to return back the position. So let's take this. We know the position. We can even store this as a variable. What was the refactor menu? We don't actually know the
Alt
refactor.
enter? No, that was the
refactor.
Control R. No.
Okay, so I don't know how to bring this menu up shortcut, but what we want is a a field. Oh, I really want a variable, but we'll try. Yeah, I need a variable here. It's not. I'll also try right clicking. Want to extract a variable. Refactor. Extract variable. Quick. Oh, control minus. Introduce local control. Yeah. Nope. Position. Yes, that's what I wanted. I think it was control plus or control minus or something like that. Okay. Position. Great. So that's just writing down the variable in another variable that's just going to be thrown away after this function is called. This one will not be thrown away because it's a property on the class, a field. So this actually stays as long as the third person movement instance exists, right? Instance. But every time this is recalled, which is going to be on update, it's going to be create a brand new variable for position that just makes it easier to use, right? Technically, we don't need that. Okay. And instead of logging it, we actually want to put it in the bucket. So how do we do that? Well, the way dictionaries work is you do something like this. I don't know the exact API for C# dictionary, but it's probably something like time to position dot add and add tab. And what does it ask us for? Read the documentation. It helps you, right? What is it saying the first parameter of add is, or the first argument, I should say?
Time container key.
The time container key. Okay, so what is the key at this moment in time? What is the current moment in time?
Time container.
How can I get the current time container though? Because remember, time container is changing every frame.
Ooh. I don't know. I feel like I would know that. How would you know?
It's not here.
It's not us.
Look at it. There's no clock.
Oh, we need to add a clock.
We don't have the clock. Oh my gosh.
How could
So, what we could do is create a new time container. That the time is
7:28.
7:28:0. Okay, and then it also needs a value. What is our value
We need like
in the dictionary
the
for this
dictionary.
time? What would be the thing we're storing in this bucket? What goes into that slot into the collection?
Let me guess.
Yes, please.
Time position or vector 3 or
Yeah, it's a vector 3, but what is it? The key is the time.
the key is the time.
The value is.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
the whole point here. We're trying to get a character to move around the room again, so we need his
Position. Oh my
Okay.
goodness, transform position
We already have
or
a
just
variable called
position.
Right. Because we already wrote it down as a position.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so it doesn't actually let us new up one of these things. Why? Oh, we have to set the properties. Okay, so we don't.
7:28.
Okay, so we don't actually have. This is weird, but we could have done it this way. We could have done. Well, C#. I don't know. We need a constructor. So I keep hitting Control T. That is not the shortcut for C#.
Mac users.
Minus? No. Control minus? No, not Windows. Not Windows.
Mac users.
Nope. Control. Nope.
What are you doing, man? You ruined it all.
Alt minus.
Oh!
Did something.
So,
I wanted.
about that. What are we trying to do
Right
here?
click. And I want to access the refactor menu. Or quick actions. See, it has this quick actions, It's Control plus. Oh, the thing that doesn't work. Doesn't actually do anything. It's really annoying. Control R. No, that is rename. So annoying. Alright, anyways, I don't, let's see. Move to file, change namespace, no. Move to namespace, generate constructor. That's what I want.
There it is.
Okay, boom, okay. Alright, so what this is, what a constructor does is allow you to pass in default parameters that will set its properties. So I didn't have this before, so that's why this was being annoying, and it was red. Now it works. Now I can pass in the hours, minutes, and seconds. Cool. So this code will work. We'll no longer get a crash, and we'll no longer get a log, but we won't actually see anything because it's just going to store the new position at the same location every time. So nothing we can really test there. What we really need, well, we can test that it doesn't crash. That's always good. Take a break, check in with your code, run it, make sure you're still working. Run the test if you have tests. We don't have tests yet.
Word up. Bird up.
Alright. I see an error. Running again. Aha!
Key null, man.
Key has already been added, and the key is null for some reason, which is weird. Okay, so one thing to note here is apparently we can't use the same key over and over again. So, is it add that we want?
Multiplication.
Dictionary dot put add. I don't know why it's all this is a little weird. Okay, let's see how they do it. They go add text. Okay, great, fine. Add. Yeah, they're doing add. That's fine. Add method throws in the new key is already in the dictionary. Okay, so how do we C# dictionary that allows duplicate keys, but basically replace the value of a key. If using that through, go ahead and use a lookup class. You generally create a lookup using enumerable.lookup. This does that. You don't need to change it after, but typically
It's John's key.
If it doesn't work for you, I don't think there's anything.
Stephen B. and John's
The
key.
list class actually works quite well. Key value pair or key value collection to duplicates where you would like to iterate over. I don't want duplicates. I want to be able to replace value.
Stephen B. would know.
My dictionary equals my new value. Okay, so there's another way you can access the dictionary, just like kind of like an array, where you would pass in the index 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever to get the value out. You can also pass in this case, the key. So in this case, the key will be a new container like that, and then you can set it like this. So it does the same thing as add, except it will overwrite anything that already exists there. It may throw an exception though if it doesn't already exist. I don't think so, but we can try. Let's run this. But this is the syntax we actually want, I believe. Okay, let's see if that got rid of our error. And I almost didn't test it. See?
Can't believe it.
That's why you do small incremental steps. Test as you go.
It's not allowed. Trying to create a new keyword. Not allowed.
You're trying to create a mono behavior using the new keyword. This is not allowed. Mono behaviors can only be allowed using add component. Oh, type container was a mono behavior. That's not necessary. It shouldn't be a mono container. Cool, we're finding bugs all over the place. So, this doesn't need to extend mono behavior because it doesn't have like the update and all that crap. This is just a basic class. It's like a property class. I don't know what they call it. It's like a data object in Kotlin. They call it a data object. Just holding some data. It doesn't need to be all Unity-ified.
We're missing the attribute extension of. Oh,
I may have deleted too much. What happened?
You'd add a new thing. You delete something, you always gotta add something back. It's the rule of life.
Okay, it looks like it has to be model behavior or scriptable object. That's
a scriptable object then.
I don't know what scriptable object is. Let's try it.
Doesn't hurt to try.
Hopefully it's one that can be newed up.
If it fails, you learn.
Because the error we were trying to solve by getting rid of model behavior is that it will not allow us to instantiate a new one using new. So the keyword new. Which is generally how you create instances in C#, but Unity is being special.
Container was instantiated. We need to instantiate time container.
So
too much.
No, that's our word. So they don't need to know about that. They don't know about this. They don't know about this.
Of course.
They don't know about this.
One.
They don't know about this.
Maybe Stephen B would. Or John Skeet. John Skeet definitely would know about it. Please help me, I'm new there. Please help me. I would want Healthy George.
Really what I'm trying to ask is, Unity, do all classes have to extend mono behavior? That's weird.
If I see Stephen B, I'm gonna freak out.
Who's Stephen B?
You don't remember Stephen B? You gotta watch the first stream to know Stephen B.
First stream?
First stream we did, Stephen B was on one of these, and he helped you.
Okay. Thanks, Stephen B. If you're out there, appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that if you want, but in my case, it's easier and better to use mono behavior. Oh, best answer. Yes, your classes don't have to inherit from mono behavior, and you can essentially them in the normal way. Using inheriting from mono behavior simply gives your scripts extra abilities, such as being able to be placed on game objects, have public vars, which can be adjusted. Okay, so we want to place it on a game object. If we want to place it on the game object, which we do, because we put it on a, what do we put it on, like a clock?
Yeah.
Let's check. Does the clock have a time container?
Yep.
Lame. I actually don't like that this has a time container.
But it needs it.
Really?
Oh, sure.
What it needs is a default that can be set in code. So let's do this. 720. I never liked that. I thought that was a weird thing. So let's do this. Let's add a default constructor. Or actually, here. Instead of making this public. Well, I guess it needs to be public because it's someone else is calling it, I think. Yeah. Anyways, let's just create a new time container. And let's say, what is it, 728.
00.
There's really no reason why this has to be adjustable in the Unity. We're going to be more code focused than a lot of Unity developers. Okay, show where's the other place that we have it on an object, because I want to take this one away.
Time container. Is the one on the door? No.
Remove.
Top one.
Okay.
Beautiful. Starting
takes us around. See, I don't want it to be property anymore. I just want it to be whatever. We can deal with. If someone reads it, we'll deal with that in a second. But I don't know that anyone's reading it.
I don't think anyone's reading it.
I think someone's changing the time, but they're not reading. Okay.
I wonder who. Could it be Steven?
I know the door trigger changes it, so let's see if the door trigger also has.
It's gone.
It does. Okay, good. So we don't want this. I don't remember what time it used to be set to.
728.
Oh, no,
1210.
1210, yeah. So remove the container, and instead, in the door trigger, this guy, we're going to, again, doesn't need to be public as far as I can remember. We're going to do a new time container, and we're going to set the default to 12, 10, 0, 0. I guess we don't need 2 zeros, but okay. All right, save. Actually, I want to save all. Control Shift S. And then I don't want that scriptable thing anymore. So time container, scriptable object. I don't want that. Okay. What's the shortcut to start the game? The Unity. Play. Your keyboard. What's the shortcut?
Oh, I don't really use the shortcut. I just hit play. I've never used it.
We should start using shortcuts.
All right.
Like us watching. The mouse.
Just click and play.
Crap. It's too slow. So.
Control S. I don't know.
Play. P. Control P.
No way. Crazy.
Guessed. Alright, we still got some errors. Why? What? Is missing the class attribute extension of native class. Why does it need that? Is not derived from. Okay, so it must be still on. It is. It's still on. What is this? The door trigger. I removed it from the door trigger, did I not?
No, it's still there. Just remove it. The whole script. Just remove it.
It. I swore I did.
You removed on the other one.
Could have swore I did on that one too.
Nah. Please.
Replay that.
Please. No.
Replay that.
Dance break. We gotta get Swifty in there.
Get swifted. Yeah, okay. Now we've got a game object named clock references runtime script in scene file. Fixing. I mean, what was I saying? What? Time container is not derived from monobeavers. Yeah, it doesn't need to be. Somebody must be referencing it still to this day. Who?
The door itself.
No, the door doesn't have anything on it. The player.
Nope.
This thing is weird. What is this trying to say? It's missing class. I had the same error, and I found that I had a class that was once a scriptable object and an instance was created in project. Later, that class simplified to a class removed inheritance, which made the instance object corrupted. You can only instantiate model behaviors with objects, and this class was not one of those anymore. Look for your scriptable object in the project or game objects in there. Okay, that's exactly what we did. So this thing created a file for me when I had it as a scriptable object. That's mean. Why would it do that?
Why?
The scriptable object must be like a way to modify Unity itself. And so, where would it be?
Scripts.
Scripts? Where's it? Oh.
Oh, see it.
Yeah, that's actually our script. Editor, maybe?
Nothing in there. Or is it hide?
Source?
Source code. MISC.
Try searching. Time. No. Scriptable. Where would it be?
MISC, maybe.
Scriptable in project or game objects, and either that will show the messages with this description below. Same thing happened to me with the new prefab, simplified a class and not derived from blah blah blah. The game object, but forgot to apply the changes to its prefab. Did we put anything on prefab? We didn't, right?
man, the door. I'm telling you, man.
The door. The door is not prefab, but we can look at it. Geometry. Props. Something under props. The door. What's on the door?
It's not there.
Okay. Do not destroy all those.
Whoa, go back.
Back to what?
Oh no, I thought I saw something. No, it's not there. Never mind. Yeah, third party.
Prefabs.
New assets. Primitive. No.
Time container. Does this say anything about it being? No.
Execution order.
No more game scripts in the file or their names do not match the name.
Oh, the file name.
Imported objects. Because it used to be, so I'm gonna reset it. Reset. Preview packages in use? What does that even mean? Oops.
Fixes.
Yeah, did an update. I kind of want to clear the cache and try that. So where is that option?
What if we just put extension native class on time container?
That's kind of how we got into the mess, because I put in the scriptable object. And it's not actually a scriptable object. Re-import all.
Should we save before doing it?
4 hours to complete? Is that what it said?
What is going on?
I don't know, I just did. I think I just saved somewhere else. I think I just saved something. What is this? That's bad.
There's so much going on.
It's because this freaking mouse is sensitivity is so high. No, you love
Because you
it.
clicked the middle button. You actually raised it to the max.
Oh, really? Can I stop that?
Yeah,
Oh!
Yeah, that's what controlled
I didn't
it.
know that. That's cool.
I said
Yeah,
middle
it's
button,
like
then you clicked it and it was like max.
Easy max. Okay. What am I doing? Unity. Reopen. Be fine. Just work.
I think it was the sensitivity. That's the problem.
Sometimes crap just happens. Okay. Paradox. Pseudo paradox.
It'd take like 5 hours to open.
There was a temp folder. This just got created, I think, so maybe it's refreshing. Maybe it's fine now. Project settings.
Oh, look at it. New version.
Later. I'm so annoyed by this. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Take scriptable object down, just put an extension of the native thing.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do. File, new, maybe under core.
Time container's there.
Code analysis will say no. C# editor script, no. General, no. C# mono behavior. C# language. I don't want to do an editor script. I don't even want to do a mono behavior. I just want a C# code. Like, why do they have to make this so hard?
For real.
Visual C#. Visual C#. Code analysis, C# editor script. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Here's what we're gonna do. Time container 2.
Ooh. Oh.
Really? Time container
4.
2.cs. Could not find file paths. Are you dumb?
No, stupid, slow.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it? Yeah, he's gonna have time container and 2 different things. It's under mono behavior in that one. Now everything's wrong in this one.
I don't like platforms that have magic behind them, and there's some weird magic happening here because I inherited from scriptable object, and then all of a sudden now it's broke. Like, it's so stupid.
Mm.
All right. Anyways, we will do this. We will change the other scripts to use time container 2. So who uses time container? Time container 2.
I think everyone at least uses it once.
2.
Doesn't. Oh!
What's wrong with this?
There's no time.
Oh, because the thing on the clock is the wrong type. So time container 2. Container 2. Change time should take a time container 2. Great.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Why are we needing Control P?
Thank you.
What's going on here? Time container is not derived from a behavior or scriptable object.
Well,
That's too bad.
I'm going to delete time container, so F U. Time container is going to go away.
Get it out. Get it out.
And we'll see who is still using it. What is going on here? I don't think
I just saw it.
Where?
I didn't see it. Or maybe I did. Maybe I'm going crazy. I think it was in the code.
Aha, I see somewhere in the code. Third person. Someone's still using it. Who?
Right there.
Reload all.
Maybe. Time container.
Somewhere in here we are using it.
Time container. Oh, maybe this
Where?
one. Oh, there.
Ah, ha, ha. We use the type. Right.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Oh, yeah. Man, that's a lot.
Okay.
Clock
the
is
reference
missing.
Script unknown on this behavior is missing. Clock. The reference script on this behavior, game object clock is missing. Let's see why. Why is clock not on here anymore? Where was clock?
Everywhere and everywhere.
Third person camera. That's not right. We want to look at the
Clock.
actor. Present person player. It needs a clock.
Or does it?
It doesn't. Where's the clock?
Under clock, maybe?
Why would the clock be under the clock?
I don't know. Maybe it is.
Oh, you're totally right. It is. Why? Aha, we missed a spot. Clock is what used to take the time. It was the last thing taking a time container. I could have sworn we removed it, but I guess not.
Of course.
Okay,
Of course.
okay. Remove component. Remove component. Control S. Whew.
You doubted me.
That was
You doubted me.
I did. I'm sorry.
Why would it be under clock?
Well, the error said it was missing a time. It was missing a clock. That's not actually what happened. It was the time container. Old component was still on it. You know what this means?
I don't know.
It means we can rename this stupid thing.
Woo!
Control R. Time container.
What's going on up there? There's nothing up there.
Boom. Why did you do that? Rename, I said. Time container. Time container. Didn't rename the file though. Okay. And does everybody know about the new name, or are they still using the old name? Okay.
Time container 2. They're all kind of time container 2. They never change, do they? Children, am I right?
The refactor did not work. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why you're saying, oh, my bad.
This guy.
There you go. Didn't scroll. Read one more.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay.
Beautiful. Error. Oh, I knew it. Time container 2 cannot be found.
Hopefully it just deleted it. I think it did. Cool. Yeah.
Nope.
It had some metadata file. Alright, so we're working here. We're working. We walk into the... We're going to have to figure out how to do those better mouse controls because this is crazy. Okay, it resets. Good. We're back to where we were. Refactor. Done. Pain in the butt. Yes. Do it all. Sure.
Beautiful.
Alright. Now, question remains. How do we get the real time, not this hard-coded 728? Ooh.
The loading. More updates.
Well, we already have a clock instance, don't we? Here.
It's not.
So we just need this guy to be on our player. Then we can reference it, or on this script. So let's add a clock for property here. Why don't you do this part?
What?
Do it, sir. Do it.
What am I doing?
What do you mean we're doing? You are
Adding a clock.
one thing at a time. Okay, so go back to Visual Studio Code.
Beautiful.
In here, on line 27, we want to reference the clock's current time. We can't do that unless we have the instance of clock. So one way to get it is to pass it in just like we pass in character controller, transform, and animator. So now you want to pass in the clock. So do that. The property. Put a property on here.
So I gotta add something up here.
Yeah.
What would it be?
What's the type? We created a type called clock. So I think it's clock.
Just clock. Undercase clock.
Capital C because it's our type. And then you got to give it a name, which can be lowercase.
Time. Clock.
Clock.
Clock. Clock.
And that's something called. Okay,
Yes,
great.
of course.
Now on line 28, change the key in the dictionary. So the key is the thing inside the brackets.
This.
Yeah, instead of creating a new time container, get the time from the clock. So clock
just-
dot, change this whole thing. Yeah.
Delete this.
Delete all this. All of it. Everything inside the brackets. Close it out.
Okay.
We don't want 728. We want whatever time the clock actually thinks it is.
Clock.
You don't even need to do new because you already passed the
Ah!
instance.
Clockle.
You don't need new.
No new. Yeah, we don't need
So
none.
we don't want the clock instance to be the key. We want the clock's time. So see if you can get the time off the clock. I have a feeling we can't. But say clock dot something. So we have change time as a function, but we have clock text. Okay. We can use clock text, but it expects a time container. So since it's already converted to text, why don't we just change the key type to be the clock text or text string, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hover over that, and it's going to offer a suggestion.
TMP.
Press Control Enter. You have to click on it, actually, not hover on it. Sorry.
Click.
Yeah, Control Enter. What's happening? Is it Alt Enter? It might be Alt Enter.
Alright.
Click on it. Alt Enter. What's this? Hover over it? Oh, there are no suggested fixes, I guess. Lame. Alright, so do it by hand. It's saying the type is wrong. So where do we declare the type for the dictionary key?
Dictionary key type.
Yeah, where did we say the type was time container?
Oh, vector.
Yeah, in two places up here, right?
Yeah.
So we have to change both of those from time container to whatever clock text is. What type is clock text?
I don't know.
Actually, clock text, it says here, is clock. It says it's TMP text. We actually don't want that either. That's kind of stupid. So, can you do clock text dot text? No, you had it.
Clock.
Clock text dot text, because clock text is it. No. Yeah, that one dot text.
Ah.
We don't want TMP. We actually want the string. Okay, but still, now what's the type? It says argument 1 cannot convert from string to time container. So it thinks it's supposed to be a time container, but it's actually a string. So we don't want to use time container, we want to use string. So what do?
We make it a string?
Yeah, change the key to the key type to a string.
So how do I... Oh.
Change it, rename it. Change it.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
Both of them.
String?
Uh-huh.
String. Do we have to put two strings, right?
No. You make sure are there.
And then this one.
Yeah, because you're just declaring the type here. You're not actually creating a string. You're just saying it needs to be a string, whatever you set it to. And then you actually set it on line 28 by getting the text out of TMP.
So we just string? Or am I
No, you don't even need to do that because text.text gives you the string.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So click text and then hit Control and click it again. Okay, so this takes you to the interface for TMP. Go back. I need to hit something else.
I hit nothing.
Use this button here to go back and forward, back, forward. Okay, here it says virtual string or whatever, but it's a string and it's a property saying so. Okay, so it's a string. Just go back. It's fine. So that function on TMP text, one called .text, or it's our property. Sorry, not function. There's no parentheses. Is of type string. Okay, so what is this? What is this saying? Line 28. What does it say?
It's the dictionary thing.
Sure. What is it? What is it doing?
Position.
Read it out.
Time to position.
Dictionary.
Dictionary. Clock. Clock text.
Okay, but what is this? So the key. So at this key. So look up the key in the dictionary that corresponds to the current times text and set a new value. The value is the current position on the transform. So maybe that's confusing, but we can log it out. So let's do this. Debug.log. Time to position values. There's gotta be some way to log out like every time to string. Oops, to that. Okay, so I'm converting the dictionary to a string. What I think that will do is show us every key value. So Let's play the game. So the first frame is going to show nothing. Next frame is going to show one key value pair, then another, then another, then another, then another, right? It's not actually doing anything. Playing.
Yeah. P. Oh.
Null reference. Object reference is not set to an instance of an object. Stored out position, line 28. Okay, so let's check it out. What's wrong with line 28? We are trying to get the position from the controller. Transform position is null. Why? Why does the controller? So the controllers we're using move, we're using rotation. Maybe it's not transform. Maybe it is just not position because the controller's already positioned. Why does it have a rotation but not a rotation?
No.
Look at this. Transform. Where does the transform come from? Where are we passing in a transform?
No, it's not there.
Transform.
Not the other one. What's it called? Position. Beautiful.
Okay, so transform must just be a property that comes from mono behavior. We look at mono behavior. Does it have a transform? Oh, you're right. It does automatically go back. What is that? It's so weird. Not seeing it. Again, magic. Oh, because this inherits from something called behavior.
Mono behavior.
Can't see behavior. Okay. Behavior has a component. A component has a transform. Okay. So what's happening here is called inheritance. Basically, the root object is called an object, and an object has properties like a name, right? But then a component, it adds additional properties. It has name still from object, but then it adds transform, right? And then on top of game components, they create a behavior. So a behavior has everything that component has and everything that object has, but it adds two functions called enabled and is active enabled, right? And then behavior is extended again by something called a mono behavior. And a mono behavior has everything that a behavior has, which means it has everything that a game object or an object has, which means everything. Or I skipped one. What was the thing after? Behavior inherits from.
Object? No.
Why not let me go into it? I was just there. Now it won't let me go there.
Was it object? No, it wasn't an object.
Won't let me go.
Behavior. Then it goes to I know I saw object somewhere. But it came from something.
Whatever. Look at the stream. Whatever it comes from, right? So the idea is that these keep extracting from each other, right? And so at the end of the day, you have a third-person movement, which is a mono behavior, which means it's a behavior, which means it's a component. It's a component. It's a component.
Yes.
Which is an object, right? The point is they keep adding additional properties. So transform looks like it's coming from nowhere, but it's actually coming from objects or
component.
Component. There you go. Right. Okay. Now that that's cleared up, it should work. Save, run, play. This recompile thing is annoying. It should do this automatically. We gotta get the saving working. The autosave working. Okay, same problem. Null reference exception. So it's saying that the thing just does not exist on line 28. Line 28, transform position, which is weird. Does it have a rotation? Because we know here they're mentioning a rotation, and this is in the same, basically the same thing. But this code only executes when it actually is being moved. So maybe that's the difference. What if I move?
No.
Still
No. Of course not.
Okay. So what if we use the rotation? Exact same thing. Maybe a rotation is a position of vector 3? Yeah, it is. Okay. Position. What's this? Null. Wait, we know it's not null because we logged it out before.
Duh.
Position.
No instance.
So it has a position,
Mm-hmm.
but it's saying object reference not set. I know what it is.
Breakthrough.
I know what
There's
it
a
is.
breakthrough.
It's this. So this is so annoying. This is saying it can't. It has to do an add. Oh, it's so annoying. If time to position dict position. No, not position.
Transform.
No, we want the key. What is the key?
Key is the clock.
Oh my god! I'm not gonna stop doing those shortcuts. What is extract local variable? What's the refactor? Do you remember?
Oh. Mm-mm.
Extract local
String dot two.
Extract local. I don't know what it is. Text, not text. Current time. Okay. So with those two things, and we'll move this up. Oh my god! These shortcuts don't work. Okay. Nope, that didn't work either. I'm so disappointed with these shortcuts.
Windows.
It's just the editor too. I'm not used to this
No.
editor.
Oh, please no.
Okay, current time. All right, so if what we can do is we can check if the current time. So if this key's already been used, right?
Mhm.
Then it will give us back something that's not null. Okay. If it is null,
Else. If. Oh,
what do
no,
we-
just else.
What do we need to do instead? We need to time to position. We need to add it because it doesn't exist yet. So if that's the case, we want again the key to be current time and the value to be position. So this is dumb. I don't know why you have to do this. There's got to be a better way to do this, and that annoys the heck out of me. Okay, but we're going to see if that fixes that error.
Nope.
What line is it now? 29? 29 is...
String current time.
Oh, I was saying there's nothing in the clock. That can't be right. Let's see what's this. Line 29.
It's just saying 29. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now it's saying clock. Clock is not set. You know why it's not set?
Because we don't have a thing.
Don't have what?
Is it not on a...
We didn't put it
Yeah,
on
we
here.
didn't have a thing.
That error is actually valid. Okay. I wonder if the other error was the same thing then.
What?
The key was not present in the dictionary.
Oh, we gotta add it?
Right, that's exactly my point. If it's not there, I guess we can do this backwards. We can say, or maybe it's
Okay, what's the difference between else and else if?
else if does another if check.
Okay.
Else will just, if it's not this thing, it will always do this. It doesn't, you don't have to do the other checks. C# dictionary, add new key if doesn't exist. Is there a more elegant way of adding an item? Thank you. I knew there has to be an elegant way. Just use indexer. It will override if it's already there, but it doesn't have to be there first. That's what we did, isn't it?
John Skeet, thank you.
I'm pretty sure that's what we did. Basically, just use add if the existence of the key indicates a bug. Yeah. So the first syntax we had is actually correct, according to this guy. So we don't need any of this. And I wish I knew the shortcut before clean. Okay, save. Compiling. Reloading. Reloading.
Oh, snaps!
Okay, what does it say? We're logging an object, so we can get rid of that log. And the other log says the current position, which if we move, should change, which it does. Oh, okay, the object we're logging is the dictionary, and it's not, see how it just says object? It's not converting it to a string, so it's confusing. But basically, what's happening is it doesn't know how to convert it to a string because it's a collection, so we need something a little more extensive than just two strings. So I could think of a couple ways, like looping through it, but let's see. Dictionary, C#, print all values and keys in dictionary. For each. Okay, so for each is a loop of each object in a collection. There's also a for loop, which you just can pass it in index or something. In this case, we want to loop through every single thing in the dictionary, and we want to print something, debug something, debug log, right? So we want this thing. We'll say key, say dictionary key, and then we'll say plus, what is the key? Time to position. Time to position, dict, dots. What is it? Key, capital key. Okay, not keys. Key, because I'm already in the for loop. Oh, because this here, right here, we need this. We'll call this.
So many new words.
Time to position in the dictionary. Don't worry, I'll explain this.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, don't do that. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, for real.
Time. Right. For each, and this is needs the types again. So we know the types are string and seriously, and vector 3. Okay. All right. We don't need this. This now. Okay, and then we also want to print the value. Time to position dot value. Okay. I want you, in your own words, to read this and tell me what it's doing. What do you think this code does?
So, for each key value pair, right? This string. What is going on? So for each key value pair, string and vector, right? Does that include
For
string
each,
and vector?
Yeah, each key value pair we'll temporarily name it time to position.
Mm-hmm.
So each time to position inside of time to position dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like saying each word in the dictionary.
Okay.
So for each one of these items in the bucket, do this. What is it doing?
Time position, it's adding the value.
No, this is printing a log, right?
Okay, yeah,
with text.
It's telling us.
The text says time to position dictionary key, and then it adds the actual
And it
value
gives us
to
the
key.
value.
Yeah, time to position dot key gives you the value of the key. So what are the keys in the dictionary? What type are they?
Keys, what type?
Yeah, what is the key in our dictionary? What kind of information does the key hold?
The clock or
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
the time.
The
current
time.
So this will tell us the current time. And then the value inside the dictionary for that current time is what?
Would be the number 728 or
So this is a time to position dictionary. We know the key is time. So what is the value? If I know the time, I want to get the position.
You want to get
Time
the
to
position.
right? So this is pulling the position out based on the time. Or in this case, it's just pulling the key out and pulling the value out for every single entry in the bucket. So this is going to print one after the other, every single entry that's in this bucket. And the entry includes the key and the value. Okay. And the first time this runs, it's going to add a position to the key that is the current time, and then it's going to print it. The first time this runs, the first update, the first time store position is called, how many times is this log going to print?
Every time frame?
The first frame.
Okay,
How many
the first
times is it going to print?
1 or 60? I don't know. One.
Because there's only one thing being added. But the next time this loops, it adds another thing to a different time. What the new time is like one frame different, right? And the position is whatever my current position is. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. Doesn't matter. But the key is unique because the time has changed. Every frame, the time's changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the second frame, how many logs is this going to print?
2?
2, because the first frame and the second frame with different times.
Oh.
Probably the same position because you probably haven't moved in that frame. But so this is going to quickly store a lot of data and print a lot of data. So what this is doing is storing the data, and this is just us being able to view the data.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just how we're going to test it. We're using a log to test it. I don't even know if I saved. Okay. So,
wow.
starting at the top. The first frame.
Position. Where you were.
We're still printing the position. We can get rid of that log, actually. That's this one. We don't need that. Okay. But the first frame, it had one value inside the dictionary, so it printed it. That value was 728.00, and the position is 00. The next frame, it's actually the exact same value. Why is that?
Because the frame faster than the time? I don't know.
Yes, because we're only tracking seconds, and the frames are 60 per second. So it's not until like 60 loops where it will actually have a different time, which is a problem. So good thing we're testing this. So eventually it gets to 0, 1, and 2. So now it's holding 3 different values because it has 3 different keys. But that means it's only going to store the position once a second. What happens if we try to move an AI model around the room, but we only move his position once a second? It's going to look like crap, right? So we actually need to know like frames or like microseconds. We need to know more frequent positions than this. Maybe. We might be able to animate. What we might be able to do is set our AI to walk a path from this position to the next known position, so like a second later, and then fill in every frame. So it will know if I start at position 0 and end up at position 1, and I only have 60 frames to get there, then I need to walk in this direction at this rate. There's a way to, it's called tweening in animation.
Tweening.
Like tweening. I don't know what you call it exactly when it's actually walking, but when you animate, it's called tweening. You only give it like certain intervals, and then it figures out the in-between movements for each frame. So this may work. If I move around, so this is me standing still, so it wouldn't do anything. The player's just going to sit there, so it's not a problem. But if I walk around,
people that could.
Okay, let's look at this data.
You moved.
So again, a bunch of 0 positions because it's so fast, and they're all the same time. But then my position changed. It got stored in this current second, but then it quickly got overridden by a new position, new position, new position. So the thing is, the only one that gets stored is going to be, or that lasts is going to be the last one. So if we get to the next second towards the bottom here, the only position, when I say what is the position, what was the position of the player at 7:28:00, it's going to be this one. It's not going to remember any of the other ones. And then I say what was the position at 01. It happens to be the same because I stopped walking.
Yeah.
But let's do a better example. I'm going to walk through.
Boom. That's all you need.
Okay. Alright. A second might be too much. We might have to make it smaller. But okay, let's see. So at 00, it tells me my position was minus 2.1 in the X. And then at 1 second later, it was 0.6. So if we told some animation code or what, AI code, please move the model from this position to this position, starting now, and then it started walking. 1 second later, it should end up here. Another second later, it should end up here. Another second later, it should end up here. Another second, it should end up here. So this may work, or we may want to store even more finer movements, like half seconds or every frame.
Sheesh.
Okay.
It's a lot.
So I want to test if we can find a way to move a player using these save data. Now we know the save's working. That's a good accomplishment, actually. We're using buckets, we're using collections, we're saving things, and we're reading back, but we're just logging them. But how do we actually move an object around that follows those? So what I want to do is I want to change the time when I go through the portal back to the start time. And then start replaying the movements. So let's change our trigger to go back to the start time. So if we look at our code, the start time on the clock is 7:28. Let's change our trigger just to go back to the same time, just to keep it simple, right? So what this will do is it will store my movements, and then when I go through the door, it will start overriding my movements. So let me explain. I'll walk around for like 5 seconds. Okay, walked around for 5, 6, 7 seconds, and now look at it. I'm back, and I'm here. 2, 3, 4. Actually, I should have just stayed still. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I've been here longer than I was the first time, and I stop. So what do these kind of look like? Well, when we first started, my movements kind of looked like this, right? 1, minus 0, right? But then at some point it's going to reset.
There. 1.
Here. 0, 0. Guess it's kind of hard to visualize. What we need is we need to move. We need some other object in the room. So how can we? Let's do this. Once we trigger the first time, let's create another version of me.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that.
Already?
Okay. I want you to do that part.
Oh, snaps.
That's your assignment. Once we trigger, create a new instance of the player.
New instance?
It's like in your game when you create dogs, right?
Yeah.
How do you create one of those?
Push spacebar and a new one spawns.
Sure, but instead of pressing space, what do you want to do? What's the trigger?
Every time you walk through the door.
Yes. Okay, so you understand the task, right?
Yeah. Doing it's the hard part.
Well,
so
what does the trigger need to know in order to create a version of the player? It needs to know
as
what
soon
a
as
player
you,
is.
Yeah.
So go to the trigger. Does it already have a property for the player? I think it might.
The door?
Effects.
Effects.
Door trigger.
Door.
So look at that guy. He knows about the clock.
Doesn't
but
know
he
about the
doesn't know
dude.
about the player. He does know when he collides with him. He has a collider like of the player because that's what hit him.
Yeah.
But we don't want that. We want a prefab, so you can print another one.
You want a
So
prefab
do we
with
have a prefab of the player?
I don't think you do.
Let's make one.
Yes. So where's the dude at?
Under actors.
Oh.
Here.
Here?
Yeah. Let's turn this guy into a prefab. How do you do that?
Something up here, isn't it? No.
I remember. Why do you try right clicking over here? No, I mean in the hierarchy.
Ah, yes. Oh, create empty.
No, right click the actual third person player. Yeah.
Parent. Create an empty. No.
Why don't you try Google on it?
What am I Googling? How to make prefab?
Exactly.
Wow, 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 wow. To create a prefab, drag a game object from the hierarchy window into the project window. We gotta make 2 of them. We gotta make a new folder for prefabs. Right?
Let's try it. So drag it into the project folder. This is the project folder. So is there a prefab folder in here?
Yeah.
Okay, go to that folder and drag in the.
Drag it.
Yeah, drag them over here. Boom. You have a prefab. And you never forget again.
Totally done this before.
Okay. Now we need that. We need the trigger to have access to that prefab, right? So how do you do that?
We go to the, where is
The
it?
trigger's under effects.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Okay, so he knows about the clock, but he
Okay.
needs to know about the player prefabs. So
we gotta go in the script.
yes, so it's already open in Visual Studio.
Okay, it's in here. So we gotta.
So just like we have the clock up there, you want to add another public property. But what's the type?
It's not float. It's
What do you
game
what,
object or
I don't think it's. It might be game object. What is prefab? Is a prefab a game object or is it prefab? I don't remember.
I've never named something prefab in the
Okay, it's
public.
game object then.
Never capitalized it though. Should we?
No, that's right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna
It's type, and then if you want to name it.
prefab.
No. You can name it player prefab maybe. Capital P.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Although I guess at this point it's maybe not. Yeah, it is a prefab because you have to instantiate it. Right. So,
Make a new one.
okay. When do you want to create a new one?
Start?
No.
No.
What code are you in right now?
I'm in the door trigger.
Okay. So when is the trigger activated?
When the dude goes into it.
which is what function method.
Yeah.
Well, what do we currently do when you hit the trigger? What do we do?
Go back to the start.
Okay, so where's the code that does that? Where's the code that changes your position when you hit the trigger?
No third-person movement. Would be in here somewhere.
Nope. Check the trigger.
It's get component, change time.
Okay, change time.
Well, transform position right here.
Exactly. So we want to do a third thing inside here, which is
player prefab.
create an instance. So put a third thing, not in the middle. Probably, I don't know where you want to put it, but just put it at the end. Just whatever. It's a new thing, so put it at the end.
So
down.
down.
Enter. No.
Oh yeah,
All right.
chilling. Same thing.
Create a new player. So you have the player prefab. It's called player prefab.
Instantiate.
Yes.
Instantiate.
Yep. And this is a function, static function in Unity. You pass it a prefab, so pass it a prefab. So just start typing parentheses, and it'll help you tell you what you need to put in there. It takes an object.
Game object?
Game object is an object, so that works. But what game object? You need to give it a specific game object. You don't need to declare the type. You want to pass it.
So we want the player prefab.
Yeah. Okay, but you don't just want to create an object. You want to give it a position. So if you hit comma, I bet there's another constructor. There we go. That takes
transform
appearance. We don't want that. You want to give it a position. How do you give it a position?
Vector 3? No.
Yeah, is there... Sorry, I just am curious.
Of course.
If there's a different instantiate that takes a position. So if I go here, there's 3 instantiates. One that just takes the object.
Vector 3 position.
Another one that takes a position and a rotation and a transform. We want this one, I guess.
Quaternion.
So give it a vector 3 position and a quaternion. What do you call it?
What is
rotation
going on here?
So the position we want is the starting position, right?
Yeah.
So don't we already have the starting position somewhere?
Starting position 0, 0, 0.
Look at line 11. What is that doing?
0, 0, 0. Starts them in the middle.
So it's setting it on the player directly. What if instead that on line 11, what if you take that stuff on the right side of the equals, the new vector, and you put that in a different variable first? Then you can reuse the variable twice. So create a new, there you cut that, and you create a new variable called starting position. Right above this on line 10. No, it could be inside the function.
Okay. So it'd be here.
Yeah.
So public? Or no wait,
No,
what am I doing?
You don't need to say public or anything, it's not field, but it is it has a type, so you want to set the type, which is vector 3, right? You want to give it a name. So what is this variable for? What does it mean? It's starting position, right?
Yeah, so starting.
Okay. You want to set its value equal to the thing you cut earlier. Equal. Cool. And get some cleanup there. You name that, and then you name starting position wrong. I think it's S instead of an A.
Oh man.
Cool. Now you can fix line 12, right? So you still want to set the position of the player to that position. So
starting position.
Other transform that position equals
0, 0, 0.
starting position.
Starting position.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Semicolon. Press semicolon. Then it sets the clock. Then you instantiate a new player fab and you give it a position of starting position.
Starting position. So. Oh, space. Do I just put starting position?
Yep. You can reuse that variable now. Nice. But it also needs a rotation, so you gotta create
dot rotation.
Comma space new.
Vector 3. Quaternion.
Quaternion. Yeah, and that takes 4 things. So
rotation. Or
quaternion is 4, right? A quarter.
Quarter.
So pass it 0, 0, 0, 0 maybe, or I don't know. But then you have to pass it. It's a function.
Oh, pass it. And I'll do that. Well,
parentheses.
Oh yes.
You have a space. You don't want a space.
Messing up. You know what I'm saying?
4 things, 4 floats: the X, Y, Z, and W.
Oh.
Cool. You're missing a parentheses for the instantiate. You want to close instantiate. Okay, so now what does your code say? And 14.
14 instantiate. So I get a player prefab, I get its starting position, and I give it a new one, or I give it a new starting position.
You're taking a blueprint of a player,
Yeah.
and you're instantiating it at that position with that rotation. Rotation just being 0, 0, 0, 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's save this and try to run it. See what happens. It's gonna be a little weird, right? Because you're moving to that position and it's creating a player there. I wonder if that's gonna glitch it.
Can't be caught clicking.
Okay.
Oh wow! Oh that. Ooh yeah. Hold
Door.
on. Oh.
Did it do it? Was there an error?
No error. I don't think.
Did we put the prefab on the script? I think we forgot. The trigger on the door trigger. Yeah. Same thing for it too.
So we put the third. Oh, we put the prefab.
Prefab. Yep. Exactly. You got it. Okay. Try again. Nice.
No clicking around here. I'm walking, yeah. Whoa!
Boom, you know what it is? Yes! There's 2 of you! That's a pseudo paradox if I ever saw one. So it handled the collision.
Straight beat him up.
Do it again. Go through again.
Okay. Ooh. Where's the door? Over here? He's in the same thing.
Oh, they're on top of each other.
Ah!
See what it does, you can do it.
Okay.
So it allows you to glitch into each other. That's cool. That's cool.
Where's the door? Oh, there it is. Look at all those arms. There's so many arms.
That's sick. Now, what if we give those guys that prefab? What if that prefab has a script on it that automatically walks around?
You gotta move them.
Let's do a quick script where he just moves one like set move this random direction just to see him move around automatically.
There's an error.
Oh, does it say where? Click it. Double click that.
This?
Yeah. Oh, I know what it is. Your prefab doesn't have its value set. Go to your prefab.
Not much in here.
No, in the
yeah.
Prefab folder under project. Under project. Click this guy.
Clicking them.
See, he doesn't have those things set. The camera and stuff.
Oh, we need to drag the clock in there.
No, I would say this prefab doesn't need a camera or third-person movement. We're going to create a different movement script. So take that script off, and let's create a new script for movement.
Remove component? Or
Yeah, so what does he need? We changed tag to. Tag should be add tag.
Respawn.
Let's add a new tag called what are we calling these player clones? Like they're
past self.
Yeah, they're just call it player clone for now.
What did it happen? What did I do? What happened?
Double click into that, see if you can change his name. Can you type? Right click. Right click. Hit the minus. Oh, it's an environment. Sorry. Go. Get out of this. Go back to the prefabs now. So see how tag is a drop down?
Yes.
Say add tag.
Yeah, that's where I went.
Okay, so hit the plus sign then.
Woo!
Say player capital P.
Ooh,
Clone capital C. Yeah. Cool. Save. All right, we're not using tags yet. But, and then minus. Get rid of environment. So hit environment. Minus. Oh wait, no, don't minus that. Never mind. It's just a custom tag. That's fine. Go back to the prefab. All right, now change this tag. Okay, so just in case we ever do any like tag checking on collision or something, we don't want it to be the same as our player. All right, anything else here we don't want? We want to transform. We want a collider, but we don't want that movement. We want a different movement. So remove that third-person movement script.
This one?
No, the whole script.
The whole thing. Remove it.
component. And then add a new, well, before you add a new script, let's do it inside of, well, let's see if we fix the bug. Hit play. I have a feeling it's not going to get updated.
It got updated.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't walk through the door yet. I can't move.
Oh. You're also a prefab, apparently? Or did we remove the wrong one? We might have removed the wrong one. Click the player. And Control Z. Okay, it's back. So go to your actor. So he has that, and then go to the prefab. Wait, so go back to the actor. Is it a player clone or a player? Change the tag to player. I don't know why these things are connected. Player. Okay.
Prefab.
Prefab.
Player clone. There it is.
Okay, click the first one again.
It's player.
Okay, try deleting the script from the prefab and see if it deletes from the actual player.
Yes, it does.
Why? They're connected. We want to unconnect them somehow. So,
Control Z. Oh, Control Z. Control Z.
okay. If we rename them, would that do it? Static, maybe? Third person player, root, and prefab assets.
Toggle static, you know what I'm saying? No, please no. Oh, please no.
Prefab, here we go.
Apply to all.
I just don't want him to be in prefab. What we could do is leave this prefab as it is and try to create a copy. How do you do that? Create. Would you like to create a new prefab or variant? Variant, that's the word I wanted.
Beautiful.
So which one does it actually use? Variant. When does it use the variant? It's kind of a little weird, right? Yeah, it uses the variant. Okay, we can rename it. Alright, so let's rename this one to third person player 2 clone.
Oh.
No, we don't want to do that unless it's temporary, right? Okay, let's see. Hopefully I didn't break anything. And then open this one and we can rename it. Back to the original. Okay. Hopefully that works. So now he's still variant.
We got a viewer too.
Why is it still variant?
Brother man.
I don't like this variant. But it thinks it's a variant. I guess that's fine. This guy's the goal. Okay, so now they're disconnected. Remove this component. This guy also got removed. So if you, the problem is if you change the original. Ugh, this is so annoying. Okay, undo, 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 undo. I don't want a variant. I don't want a variant yet. I don't want a variant. I don't want a variant. Undo, 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 undo.
Wow.
Did it really go back that far? that just undo?
Go back. Isn't there like a forward?
What's this guy set to? Third person. Oh, is he not a variant? Oh, he's not. He's not a prefab at all now.
Woo-hoo. This might be good.
Let's see. I might have also broke a ton of things. Oh man.
Oh, we're back to the native class. Come on, mate. Oh, the tags. Yes.
Okay. My clone's still there. Okay. This guy broke, so delete.
Well, just delete my prefab like that, I guess. He didn't have a life.
Import map, export package. Create prefab variants. All right, so the variant we good. We got a prefab variant now, but this is not the using the variant. Perfect. Okay,
Beautiful.
so the variant is going to, where is it? Okay, the variant's going to be a player clone, and it's not going to have this movement script. Edit script. No, edit script. No, edit script. Don't edit script. Delete or remove component. Okay, great. And then in here, door trigger, we can drag the variant now. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay, give that a shot. I may have undid too much. We'll see. Okay, that looks good. All right. Walk through the door.
Whoa!
And no error.
There's two.
And his rotation is different because we set it to 0, 0, 0, 0. Cool.
Beautiful.
All right. Oh shit, we broke something.
There's too many.
There's too many. I think what's happening is
Look at all that arm
I think
movement.
you're staying in. Oh. Each one of them has a door trigger script on it.
Breakthrough.
Okay, stop it and then take this. That door. Wait, no, that's not true. The door trigger's not on them.
Anything on it.
Not this one. Go to the other one. This one.
Doesn't have anything on it.
Third person move to remove. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, nothing's on. That's fine. I think it's because the trigger on stay function executes multiple times before it. That seems weird though. Let's just walk through the door once and see how many it creates.
One, two, three.
Yeah, I think it's because it's using on trigger stay. I think it's being called multiple times. So let's do this. Let's get rid of the log here for time to position so that we can actually read our logs without having all this crap. So get rid of this log. Go to Visual Studio.
Oh.
Open up the player or the movement class. Yeah, this one. Get rid of this whole for each. All of it. We don't need any.
That?
Yep. Okay, any other crazy logs? Save this. Okay, now let's go to the door trigger and let's add a log in on stay. Yeah, here. Yeah, so add a log in this function here, this method, capital D. Yeah. Top log. Alright, just say on trigger stay text, yeah. I just want to see how many times this is being called.
What do I write?
On triggers, and the name of the method.
Trigger. What is it? Dot stay?
That's good enough. Actually.
Okay.
Save this.
And then wait, we gotta put a thing. We lost our view.
We had a viewer.
We had a viewer.
Or boredom to death. All right. A lot of troubleshooting. That's fine. We're learning.
Beautiful.
Why does it still have that lock?
We haven't run it yet.
Run it. Oh, still compiling. Alright, walk to the door. See how many times on trigger called? Way too many.
Too many.
So, what if we try changing on trigger stay again? What if we change it to... What other trigger functions are there? Do you remember? On trigger enter. Try that one.
In here?
And then change the name of the method. On trigger stay. Change it to something else.
Enter.
Yeah, ability. I think this one didn't work for some reason, but let's try it again.
That didn't
Yeah,
even
it
move.
doesn't work. Wait, why are there two guys? Sorry, what?
Well, the thing's still on there, but we just didn't teleport.
Oh, okay. So it is getting triggered. Why isn't it teleporting? That's
Well, at least there's one now.
just once. That's actually what we want. So it's the teleport that's broke. So let's go to the script and see why the teleport might work. Okay, so I know what's happening. The animation or whatever, like it's also updating that frame, saying to move you forward because you're pressing forward. So it overrides the other change of position. So instead of moving your position, we need to add, I think. Oh man, this might be tough. But I was gonna say, instead of collider other, if we could somehow reference the player, or even have like a global game object, something that says move the player to the start of the game, right? How can we do that instead of trying to move the thing we collided with? Instead, what if we had another object, right? And it's called, what's a good name for this?
Start position.
Time traveler, time machine. It's more about the position though. Car, vehicle. It's like it's something that would go on both the trigger and on the player, right? And what you would do is you would change or have a function that you can call it says, hey, next frame, reset the player to this position, right? And I think
Position placer.
Okay.
Position plate.
I'm not sure what design would work best here, but I think to get us moving, like an intermittent design here, just to try it out until we can think of something better, would be to have a new object altogether called, let's see, this would go under effect.
Position
we'll call
manager.
It, create empty, yeah, okay. Player, position, manager, sure. And this game object is going to have a script on it. It needs to be a new script. We'll call it player position manager. Create an add. Great. And we want the door trigger to have access to this. We know it all. So the door trigger is going to have player position manager, player position manager, and manager. Manager's kind of a terrible name because it means so many things. People overuse it, but alright, so move this. It will work for our case. Okay, and then we want to be able to call, instead of this, we want to say player.
The caps lock's a killer.
Player position manager dots reset position. We don't care what the position is. This guy shouldn't actually even have known the starting position, really, to be honest. This says this doesn't exist, so is there a solution? Yes. Generate this method. So then we go to this function. Oops, wrong one. And what does this do?
Internal void, I never heard that.
This can have a flag called
Boolean
reset position equals false. So position, we'll say should reset position equals true. Okay, and then once that flag is set, we also want, we can store the position itself here, vector 3, starting position equals new vector 3, 0, 0, 0.
0, 0.
So then what we will do, set position, okay, inside of our third person movement, we will also have the same thing. Public position, player position manager, player position manager. Okay, and instead of, so when you move the character, first thing to do would be to check if you need to reset his position. If player position manager dot should reset, so it's not visible, so this needs to be public, I guess. But we want it to be private, so what's that thing you do to make things not show up in
Private, always private.
no, we need it to be public for code to see it, but private so C# doesn't see it, the editor. Unity make public fields private for editor. Serialized field? Non-serialized field, is that what it was? Unity serialized serialized property. No, I don't think that's what we want. Unity how to make property not show in editor. Hide inspector is the one I'm looking for, I think. So this is, I don't know what they call it in C#, but it's like an annotation or something. It ends up hide inspector. Basically, there's some magic where Unity will see this when it's compiling the code, and it won't actually show this variable anymore inside of the editor. So if you look at the script, it won't have, yeah, it doesn't.
Errors.
Yeah, I haven't finished writing that. Okay. Alright, but it's public at least, so this also should be public. And I'll leave it exposed just so you can see it. Alright, there we go. Now let's reset position. Okay, should reset position. So if should reset position, or I guess we should say if it should not reset position, so opposite of that. This just means opposite of that bool value, right?
Bool.
So if you shouldn't reset the position, go ahead and do this stuff. Now, I don't like this code. It's very hacky.
I hate this code.
It's like if else, it's not good, right? It's
too many ifs.
This is something that needs to be cleaned up. But it will basically give us an idea of what we're trying to do, and so we can test it out, but we're gonna have to find a better design. This is garbage. Okay. Let's go back to the door trigger. So this resets the position. Actually, we could do this, or we could say should reset position. Should reset position. Else, where is it? How do I access transfer that position? Equals, and then from here I want to access the player position manager dots starting position. Okay. And I also want to set player position manager dot should reset position is now false. I should do that first.
Interesting.
So this is a hacky flag, but basically what it will do is do this operation once and only once until it's then reset again by the trigger. So let's look at the flow. When you hit the trigger, you're telling the player position manager that you want to reset the position.
Command, yes.
The position manager will set this should reset position to true. And then when the player tries to move the character, because it's a new frame, it will check if it should reset the position. If it shouldn't, then it will move like normal.
Mm-hmm.
But if it should reset the position, it will first reset the flag to false, saying it should no longer reset the position, so it doesn't keep doing it over and over again. But then it will actually move the position. It moves the position of the player to the starting position, which is something we're storing on the player position manager. Okay. There's some things I like about this code, but there's some things I don't. So let's see.
It's crazy how it all connects.
Yeah, and it gets really complicated real fast, and that's why good design matters. And we'll talk about how to make that design better as we go. All right, so see how starting position here is actually visible. Actually, kind of like it.
We lost our viewer again.
Now that I think about it, I kind of like it. So let's just leave it here.
Beautiful.
But the door trigger needs it too. See, player position manager?
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
The player should already have it.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Now they both have it. So now they can talk to each other, or they both can talk to the player position manager, and then the player's movement script can know what to do. Okay, let's just try it. It worked.
Oh yeah.
And it only created one variant, right?
Beautiful. That's what we wanted all along.
But we have to, because it's a flag, it may be still set or something. Let's try it again. You want to always test twice. Okay, good.
Another one.
Cool. So that works, but it's hacky. So we'll think about how we can clean that up.
Okay.
Great. I do want to mess around with getting these guys to walk around, and then we don't have to get it super smooth where it's using all the positions that we stored in the bucket or whatever. But I just want to see what we can do in the next 10 minutes or so. So first things first.
Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
What?
It's from the song.
First
things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. For real. J. Cole. Yeah.
All right. Where goes that? Where's that log? We can get rid of this log. On sure. That's the first thing. And I want to format this code because there's a weird spacing thing going on. So view code tools format.
Quick action.
Visual Studio format code.
Shortcut.
Control K, Control F, Oh, select Control K or Control D. Why do you need both? Which one is it? Is it Control K or is it Control D? Control K. Nothing. Control D. It's Control D. Okay. Save. All right. I definitely got to think about other ways, but it works for now. Let's see. We want the prefab to have a new movement script. That's the next feature, okay? We're able to create an old instance of myself, but I want it to move around the room. I don't care where it moves right now, I just want it to move. So let's go to the prefab variant, not this one, the variant. Let's create a new script. So this script is going to be called
Prefab movement.
let's call it variant movement. Where is it? Okay, and then we can open this up into it all. Oh, this put this in the wrong spot. Okay, variant movement. Alright, on updates. I don't want to do anything in start, I guess, but on update. Let's just move him. How do we do that?
Transform? Or, no, he's prefab, right? So,
He should have a
transform. Yeah. Transformed opposition, and then
transformed opposition.
then they move him by
Is it like a move function? What did we do here?
move.
So that's a controller though.
Yeah. How do you
We actually may need this.
move something you're not controlling?
I think it's the same thing. So we need a controller though. The controller is something that's passed in. So, oh, yeah, it's passed in.
And then make another control.
So same thing. This guy has to have a controller.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar thing actually.
Auto.
Instead of moving based on the key press,
Move on past rows.
based on
Past coordinates. Oh.
something we want, our own random thing. So let's do this. Okay, so this move direction is calculated using a target angle. We don't have that, so
Make
let's make one. What is the target angle? Is it a quaternion?
quaternarian. It's right there.
Quaternion. Target angle equals new quaternion. 0, 0, 0, 0. I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's saying, nope, that's the wrong type. It's supposed to be float. Okay. Let's say 90.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And what else does it need? It needs a speed. So maybe speed is something that's just.
It needs to float.
Where does speed come from in here? Is it hard coded? Is it
It's up there.
It can be changed. But let's start with this same speed. Okay. And animator. It needs the same thing. It needs an animator. I don't think it really needs a camera. Okay. So that should actually work. Move direction. Oh, we just made this up
Yeah.
based on targeting. Alright, let's give it a shot. So,
Gotta put it in there.
oh, it's gotta be on this thing. Yeah.
Gotta put it.
Associated script cannot be loaded. Please fix any compiler.
So you just gotta put the script in there
I think it's because I moved them.
because it's empty, right? Missing scripts. So it's missing the monoscript.
Here. Here. Here it is. Okay.
You gotta put the
It was,
script in.
yeah, it's because I moved it. It should be core now. Variant movement. Oops. Okay, needs a controller. Where's our controller? Controller's on it already, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing that helps it move, and the speed default to 6 is fine. Animator, does it have an animator? Why does it not have an animator? That's interesting. Because this guy is an animator, doesn't he? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Where does the animator come from?
Okay.
That's like under him. So do we have that here as well? Is there something under this prefab? Is there? Yes, there is animator here. Cool. Okay. And is that enough? Let's see.
So it's never enough. What do you think it's enough? It's never enough. Right? Straight in.
It's broke.
Oh!
Because this script probably moved. Which one is it complaining about? No reference.
Instance.
Third person movement character. Let's just look at this. What's missing?
Nothing.
Let's look at the player position manager. That's missing. Player position manager was here.
Okay.
Alright.
He's moving.
Is he stuck? Because he's just going in the same direction the whole time, right? But still, cool.
What if he went inside the door and just started making more?
You know what we need to do is we need to delete the old ones because
Yeah, we'll just keep going in the same direction. They just going in the same direction.
they're hitting each other or what?
Yeah.
Sweet.
We're making so much progress.
That's pretty cool, huh?
That's interesting.
Full screen or something because this thing is like so weird.
Maximize on play. You have to push it. Beautiful.
Nah, it's all synthetic now.
Oh,
It's 2 maximum.
Too much. Maximum. What is that? What's it from? Maximum overdrive. Push him.
Oh,
Okay, or
bouncing off the wall. See, he bounced off the wall and these slides because they're on top of each other, so they have to slide.
slide to the left. Slide to the right.
Nice. They're just like robots lining up in a line.
The cha-cha simulator. The cha-cha slide simulator. Oh gosh.
Oh, no, they're really stuck.
Or are they? Oh, there we go.
We will destroy you.
Dalek.
I think I broke it. Because look at it. Oh, no, there it goes. It wasn't moving me.
The time is just restarting. There's just so many of you. It's what we wanted. You can interact with each other. It's beautiful.
Okay. Alright, that's enough messing around. Cool. Alright, I think we made some good progress. Obviously, some wonkiness, and before we go, adding a bunch of new features, there's a couple things we want to clean up. One, this code we don't like.
It's too messy, eh? Too much everywhere.
Yeah, we don't like this if checking business. It must be a better way to do it. Actually, I've already thought of one way that would make this a little better. No, not exactly. I was gonna say we could move it up here, but no. It's fine. I'll think about it. There's gotta be a better way. Okay, and then our player variance movements, right? So we're just picking a random.
He's just moving,
direction.
yeah, he's just moving.
But instead, what we want is for them to have
Random?
be able to look. Not random. What position do we want them to go, like, move in?
The one we just had. Like,
Yeah.
you walked in a circle, then
So
you wandered to one.
How can they get that? How can they get that position? Where is that position stored right now?
In the movements?
Yeah, stored locally here.
Well,
So this
you-
probably shouldn't be here.
you want it to grab it from the store position.
Well, what we could do is we could have another object, like we have player position manager.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why is it actually? This could be in player position manager, right?
It could.
Think about it. So what if we do a small refactor here? What if instead we pass the position into the store position? It's gonna say, I don't. That's I don't know what function that is because I don't know about that attribute. But you can do Control Enter. No, every time. Alt Enter. Alt Enter. Add parameter.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Vector
Now
3.
add parameter. So we don't need this. We don't need this one because we're passing it in.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's the same thing with this one.
Cleaning it up.
Okay. All right.
Next.
Alt Enter. No.
What you gotta do on the store position? Oh, there it is.
Okay. Add perimeter. Great.
Oh,
This one.
yeah.
Much cleaner. Now,
Current time. What's wrong?
it chose a weird name. So rename Control R. Current time. That's not the right name either.
Or was it? You just misspelled it. It had a TS at the end.
Rename. Current. Rename.
Rename.
Current time. Okay. Alright, so what we can do is now we can move this to position manager. Right? We already have position manager, so probably should be public though. So this thing's gonna go, I don't know what that is.
Or do you?
Player position manager dot store position. This should probably be lowercase. So then player position can have this guy. And lowercase public. Good. Alright, but it doesn't know what this dictionary is, so that actually needs to move. Player position manager, player position manager dictionary. It's not being used here anyways, so we'll move that to here. Okay. I don't really need to start either.
Wow.
Okay. What was the Control D? Control D. Oh, that did it again.
Control these new.
Control.
Name is Dees.
Okay. All right. And then we don't need these. Why does that have everything? Okay. Save this. Go back here. Are we good here now? Player position. Okay.
Beautiful. It's not broken.
Control D. Control D.
Control D. Control D. Control K.
There's two different things.
Control K and Control R and Control D.
Control K is a bookmark or something. Okay. Control D duplicates a line, so it's weird that it would also format everything. But look at this, is not formatted. I don't think it's Control D. What was format again? I already forgot.
Control K. What'd I say?
It's Control D.
It's Control K.
Control K or Control D?
Control
K
K.
doesn't work.
Oh.
Did it work?
You were just pushing Control D.
Control K, man.
Wow.
It's putting like some weird bookmark. So dumb.
Control F.
Control K, then hold down Control K, and then press followed by D. Okay, so it's 2.
They could have explained.
DK. Oh, Control K then D.
Yeah, you hold it.
No. Watch the space. Control K D. You don't want to be pressed. It's stupid. Okay. All right. Delete these.
These.
Control K D. I don't get rid of any lines. All right. Save. Okay. Now that the player position manager has the dictionary with all the times in it, we just need to make this public. But we don't want it to show in the inspector. Maybe these should be somewhere else. Okay. Control-KD. All right. That means in our variant movement, we can get access to it via that same player position manager. We just have to add it. So, actually, we're going to need to add a property. Maybe 2, because it needs the clock, doesn't it? So, public clock. Public player position manager. Okay, that's it. So now we can just move instead of telling it to move
90 degrees to the
like
right.
Instead of like setting it to
Certain.
lock, which we will need to do, I'm just going to teleport it.
Oh yeah.
Just temporarily, just so we can see it, right? So I'm going to comment that out, and instead I'm going to set it transform.position equal to the player position manager dot the time to position dictionary. Now for the key, I'm going to pass the current time, which is clock dot text something. What is it? Clock dot current time. Clock text. Clock text dot text, right? And that's the position. So the position equals, yeah, that will do it. So this will just teleport to whatever position it should have been at that current time. It won't walk there, so it'll be glitchy, but it's actually a good start for what we want. We have to set those 2 things. So on the prefab, right, we now have to set the clock in the player position. So clock is this. Uh-oh, it's not a prefab. How do we do this? Uh-oh.
Just put it in the prefab folder.
I wonder if that would work.
Always. Oh.
I don't know if it's going to have the right values. Let's check. Let's try it. Maybe it'll work.
It always works. Said nobody.
Even key was not present in the dictionary. Makes sense. Well, does it make sense?
No.
So this is only going to run when there's a variant, and a variant only happens after you've gone through. And after you've gone through, it should have had some stuff saved. Let's do this. Let's walk around for a bit first. I bet the error won't show up until I get past this time that is saved in there, but I'm not sure. Let's check. Okay, then I walk in there. Now it shows up immediately. Why? So let's see what the key is. So let's print this out. What is the key at this time? Debug.log key clock dot clock text dot text. Isn't that what we use for the key for text?
Yeah. No.
Plus. Save. So it has a key, 23:52. That's the wrong time. So what's happening, this is what I was worried about, is that the instance of clock that is on here has a default time or whatever, but it's never actually set. So when you start the time, something changes the clock's time, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is that thing?
Probably something in the clock.
Clock itself, yeah.
Mmm.
No, that's just some canvas crap. Never mind. This is fine. What sets the time? Oh, the script. Clock script. It just creates a new one, 7:28. Okay. But before it does that, it's a different time for sure. Same thing with player position manager, probably. Probably doesn't have the same values. We really need it to be the same instance as this one. Might need our code to set up these. So like when you instantiate, we could pass in a clock and a player position. Let's do that. Okay, so inside of this guy, we can ask for the clock and the player position as part of the constructor. So since it's a mono behavior, though, I don't know if we can create our own constructor, so this will be interesting. Generate constructor. Controller. Animator. No, just speed, not speed, just clock and position. Okay, there we go. So we probably don't need this to be popped up. Let's go here, and then this prefab is going to probably break. That's fine. Maybe it just works. Oh, our code is not passing it, so it's going to have to blow up. Watch when I walk through, it's not going to go pop. See this code?
Flew up in your face.
So that's because if we look at this code, it's trying to instantiate it. Or where's the code that's the trigger, right? But it doesn't set instantiate. Is there a way to instantiate it and pass the values? Oh, that might be tough. Unity, instantiate, prefab, and set variables. Get the thing over on this is my thing.
thingamabob.
Yeah, I guess we don't need. A constructor. What these do need to be public instead. And so after you instantiate it, the door trigger, what you can do. This is a store reference to it. Player clone equals object. Okay, and then we'll go. How do you should like player clone dot or get component or does it? Go.get component thing. So dot get component. What is the name of our script? Variance movement, right? Dots. Some number. Okay. I'm missing this. Dots. And now I should be able to see clock equals clock.
Clock equals clock.
Character specific number type game was 2 clock. Why is it a game object? Okay. Oh. Okay. So, and also not just the clock, but the player position management. Okay. Okay.
Should get interesting right here. See what happens, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna run? You're gonna walk? Is he gonna teleport?
Should teleport. If everything worked as expected, it should teleport.
Watch him actually just start running all over the place.
Okay, it said object reference not. This is door trigger line 16. Door trigger line 16 clock dot get component clock. So we don't need that anymore because it's already a clock. But we do need to make sure we are setting it as a clock. Maybe when we change the type, it messed it up. So that's on the player. What was that on? Oh, the trigger. Or trigger. Yeah, clock's missing now, so just put it back.
Oh, snaps. He's on you.
Stuck.
Oh! We get so much you can't move. Are they solid?
Oh, I wonder what about my change caused that, because well, first off, I should move around a bit more before, because I think what happened is the first thing it tries to do is set his position to 0, 0, 0, which is exactly where I'm being teleported, so they're the same exact frame. They're being put on top of each other, whereas before it was off by a frame or something, so it worked. But yeah, regardless.
Mmm.
This is weird. I think it's because, yeah, the first Twin move faster. Okay, let's try this. My starting position can be different, so that will help. I know exactly what it is. Remember I said I think.
I think I can. I think I can. I know I can.
So think of it. Imagine this. This is what's happening, right? So whenever I'm walking around the first room, what's happening in the dictionary? We're saving the position that I'm currently at that current time, right? And then when I teleport, it's playing back the movements and saving. So what's happening is it saves first, then it reads. So it's always getting my new position, and that's why the clone is always at my position. Because he's just reading the new position I'm saving. So really what I need to do is somehow separate those two. So we talked a bit about maybe wrapping in even another bucket. That's maybe an array that has like, here's your first set of movements from the first time you're in the room. And they're just packaged together, they don't change. And then here's your movements from the second time, third time, fourth time. So we can try that real quick. So instead of having a dictionary, just a dictionary here, we should actually try having another array. Let me see. Time equals. Okay. First we need public current instance equals 0. So when you start the game, this would be a number or int. When you start the game, you're in room 0. Okay, start at 0. Then you'll create an array, which is public array. Oh, it needs to be a specific type. So like a list is an array. A list of type dictionary. And the dictionary type is string vector 3. So this is basically a bucket inside of a bucket. And we'll call this the time to position we'll call this thing the time machine.
Time machine.
Okay.
Or the science team.
New array. New list. Where we pass in as the string. Or we pass. No, we don't pass it. Just a new one, right? But then the first thing we should do on start. Start, isn't that what it's called? We do time machine dot add, and this will add at index 0 the time to position dictionary. Okay, and then every time we jump, like reset position, we create a new time to position dictionary. So we'll go time to, well, the problem is this variable, what we really need is a clone of this to be saved. Let me do that. Let's go time machine.add so that this C# how to clone a list. Okay, good. Good.
Great. I'm good.
So go new list, string, vector, 3. New list, string, vector 3. Okay. Didn't work. Requires one argument. Old list. Why didn't that work? Okay, let's try this. We want a list, which is a dictionary. That's what I'm missing. Dictionary. This is time machine copy equals new list. Time machine. Great. Okay, that's fine. Well, doesn't like it. Why? Can I convert generic lists, generic string 32, system collection, generic dictionary string? Why? Those are exactly the same, are they not? Isn't this the same system collections dot generic list dot list? System collections generic. Oh, dictionary. Oops. Where is this wrong?
Time machine.
This guy. Oh, we don't want a list. What, am I saying list? I want a new list. That's what I want. Why do I put this in a list? I want a new dictionary is what I want. Duh. Okay. New. Not time machine. This guy. Time to. Okay. There we go. Alright, so that will put a copy of this guy here, but how do we reset the old one? Because we don't want. I mean, this will work until it gets to numbers you've already hit, positions you've already hit. So I want to clear the dictionary. So at this point, we'll go something like time to position dictionary dot clear. Good. That's the thing. Great. Save. And then we want to change the index. So current index plus plus. And that way somebody can read the next one from the time machine. Or the current one from the time machine. Okay. So let's do that. In third person movement, no, variant movement, instead of reading time to dictionary, we actually want to read the time machine first. Time machine dot get. We don't need to get. We will we'll use an array. So we'll say 0, hard-coded for now. Time to position that dictionary. So that will actually already give us this. So this is actually the current time to previous time to position equals this will actually be. This is a dictionary string vector 3. Okay. Okay. Why doesn't it like the type? Just have to add the import. Okay, so what this says is first go to the player position manager and get me out of the time machine, get me the very first bucket.
Okay.
So from the first instant, all the positions and times key value pairs, right? And then it says change my position. So this is the variance. Change the variance position to the position that's inside of that dictionary for the key that is the current time. This is hard coded to the very first one, so all variants will end up.
Here's what I found on the web.
Hey, all variants will end up following the same movements of my first time going there. So that's fine for now. We can even change it to the previous. Actually, we can do that now.
Ooh, yeah.
It's player position manager dot current index. Oops, that's not right. Dot current instant. Oh, it is current instance. -1. Weird. That's what it is. Okay, let's try that. A lot of code in here. Hacky, ugly, needs to be refactored.
But it works.
We'll probably end up spending a whole section cleaning it up. Or maybe I'll clean it up offline and show you guys the changes I made. I don't know. But I definitely would not publish this code.
Error.
It's messy. Okay, walk around for a bit. I say like 10 seconds.
11. 13. 13. Go. Now. Oh, he's moving.
Every second he should jump.
Yeah, he's going.
So let's say this guy just stood and like he did circles in this little corner the second time around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we should look for a guy that's doing this.
So there's two of them hopping around.
This guy, let's say he does this over in this corner.
Or you're creating more instances. Too many.
Oh, did he create too many?
Yeah. You only went through one time, 2 times? There's 5, 6.
Yeah, I think it glitched. I'll go over here.
Look at them circling around over there.
Oh, you know why? Because the clones are going to the door. Right? Right? So, hey, clones, you're not allowed to do that. Oh, and it moves me when they go through. Okay, now it's broke.
It just died. There we go.
They might be close on top of each other or something. Kind of worked, right? So
Yeah, it worked.
It's like, okay, I will do this. I will just go here for like 20 seconds.
30 seconds.
On this side of the room. And then we'll do one more player who's on the other side of the room. Yep. Now I'll go to the door. I'll go to this side of the room. They'll probably glitch into each other because they're both in the same position at the start, I think. But it's gonna be weird. Or maybe not.
Well, he has 30 seconds.
Oh, no, I know what the problem will be.
Should we wait until he goes?
I don't want him to go through too because it's going to be very weird. Okay, so let's look around. How many are there?
2. Well, 3 if
One.
you're including you.
And they're all on the same side of the room. So I know what's happening is when I go through, it's that last bit of code. So I told him to go to the previous instance, but that's really not what it should be. It should be the first one goes to the previous one. Okay. They should be at different ones, but they're going to the same one. So they're going to the last known one, which is actually kind of one way we said the game might work. But how do we get them? Basically, each one should be assigned a different number. We could use variant movement. So variant movement, this class is getting recreated. Yeah, instead of current instance. So instead what it should be is public
Yeah.
instance number 3. Okay, let's try this. We need to set the instance number when we create the prefab, I think. So, I guess it's done with the trigger, isn't it? The door trigger we instantiate, and then we can just set the door instance. So we go player clone dot instance number equals.
Anybody comment?
Did I do this 3 times? That doesn't seem right. Dot instance number equals.
Where's the string?
Current
Nope, nobody. Great.
Other dot get component or no, it's on player position, isn't it? Player position manager instance current instance -1. I think that works. That might be the exact same problem. Actually, I'm not sure. Let's try it.
Dun, 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 dun. Dancing in the corner. Oh.
Index was out of range. Okay, so maybe it hasn't been reset yet. So then be current position. Okay.
26, 27.
Okay, there we go. Close the door, and then I go over here. Can you see the other guy?
Mm-hmm. Saw him one time. He's just vibing in the corner by himself.
Okay, I go through the door. Cool. Let's look.
Oh yeah,
2 guys, right?
2 guys vibing on each
One
side.
on that side, glitching around. Okay, he's walking up and down, but it's, you know, it's every second, and then the other one's over there.
Beautiful, wonderful.
And then they're both going to go through the door, and it should create more instances. Boom. Boom. Okay. So, I say we fix the creating variance problem, and then we call it a day for now, and we figure out next time how to, instead of teleporting them, actually have them walk. And that's going to be pretty damn good already.
Oh yes.
And then we'll talk about cleaning it up. Okay, so I think I have the solution for having the trigger ignore the clones. Do you know what it is?
Just take off the trigger.
And the trigger's on the trigger.
The trigger's on the trigger, yep.
It doesn't care what collides with it, it's going to create a one. But that's the problem. It should care, right?
Yes.
So if we look at the code for the trigger, how can we have it, where's the trigger? Door trigger. How can we have it check what kind of collider this is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of something that would tell us that it's a clone? There's only one thing, really, that would, well, one obvious thing that would tell us it's a clone.
The variant. Or...
Close. Remember the tag we created?
Oh!
Player clone tag?
Player clone tag.
That's exactly what these kind of things are for, I think. So what we could do is we could go... but how do you get... So Unity gets tag from collider, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Other tag equals enemy. I guess it's just that. Other dot tag. But I don't know if it's on the collider itself. We'll try it. Maybe it is. So we go if other dot tag equals player
Clone.
Well, we'll do it the other way, right? If it's a player, then we do this stuff. If it's not, then we don't. Too many curly braces. Or, sorry. Shouldn't have done that one. Okay? Control K, Control D.
Oh,
Control S. Save.
It's working in like 10 seconds. They see me rolling. They hate me. Booyah. Okay, now 7:12. He should walk through the door. And that's 7:12. 7:28:12. There should be another.
Okay. So, they both should end up at the door, but they shouldn't actually collide with it or trigger or cause the trigger to create a dupe, right? So they're both walking around.
One already went through the door. Look at you. There he goes.
Yeah, so then they should stop there. Question it. So they would move again if I went through because the time's different, but because the time is at a place where they don't know the current position, it's getting an error. See, so the given key was not present in the dictionary because it's never been there.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, what we should do is have, we don't know, the game might destroy them at that moment because they didn't exist. Maybe it should. Maybe it should destroy them when they walk through the door. It should,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so if they're clones, delete them. We can do that here in the tag. We'll do it if here. Else if other dot tag equals player. No. So if it is, destroy yourself. How do we do that?
Destroy.
Destroy?
Yeah. I've used destroy before.
Destroy? Is it a function call? Is it like destroy all game objects?
Yeah, destroy right there.
That?
Something like that.
Well, let's check.
I used it for my dogs.
Problem with this though not a problem, but this is going to change the game drastically. Now this means once it triggers, hits the trigger, it dies, and so you will only ever really have one variant at a time. And, well, at least until they start walking into triggers. So basically the first one has to be like 30 seconds, and the next one has to be 20 seconds, and then 10 seconds, and there'll be 3. But then slowly they'll kill off themselves. So let's try that.
They know I'm Newton. They know I'm Newton.
There should be 2, and then there will be only 1. Look on this left side here. There's 2.
He's walking towards the door.
He should disappear. Wait, he cloned. Did he clone himself? What just happened?
My brother just cloned, but he got destroyed.
I don't think he's destroyed. We're sticking in the air. Well, they're both over there now, so no. I don't think destroy works. Or the collider might have got destroyed, but let's do a really fast one. Do. It might not even store the position of him in the trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he hit it? So
yeah.
He might have hit it. I can't tell. Let's check. Where is he?
Right there.
There he is. It's the collider's gone. It's just destroying the collider. We want to destroy
him.
Unity destroy parents object, not collider. Transform.parents game object. Other dot transform dot parents parent dot game object. Okay, let's look around. There's 2 in the room. 1 just went through the door.
He hasn't been destroyed yet.
They're not destroyed. Both here, but they're not destroyed. I wonder if they're just not going, they're not getting into the trigger. Let's see if they have their colliders still.
Yes.
Another,
No.
it might be parent, parent? What do I have? Do I have a, where's the collider? Oh, it's the camera. Where's actor?
Right there.
It looks like the same 3 things, right?
Something changed.
So maybe it's not.
Well, he's missing something. He doesn't have the
collider. I'm not seeing the collider. Is the collider inside of here? That's the animator. Oh, capsule collider's inside of it.
It's off.
But these ones what are they missing? Animator. They still have everything. Maybe it even said an error when we tried to get the parent. We just missed it. That's what we did, right?
Other transform parent game object.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Transform. The other one had the other.
Yeah, because that's the thing being collided with. Transform that parent that game. Maybe not the game mode. Is it just a parent? Can you destroy parent? Or maybe it's not even transform. Maybe it's. Okay, let's try again. Maybe it's not parent, maybe it's just the transform delete. I'm not sure.
Ooh, party.
I have a feeling he might not be making it into the trigger, so that I guess we could put a log for that, but. So pause here.
He's not dead.
The trigger. Yeah, he's just not inside. See, because it's storing.
Make the thing bigger. Trigger.
It doesn't. That won't work right because what's happening is it stops recording its position as soon as it gets in as soon as I go to the trigger. But the second might not have changed yet. So I have to do it right when it saves in the new position. Yeah, it's not saving, basically. The last position. Maybe we just need to reset we need to reset after it saves the position. Yeah, let's try that. Can we reset after we save? So let's look at the player position manager. Resets position. Did it actually save? Did it store the position yet? It might not have stored the position yet. What if we force it to store the position? Yeah, it could be in between frames. Let's try making it for. Let's try making it. Oh, but we can't. Store the position. Oh, I guess in the player. So the player should reset the changes. Okay, so here, before player position dot should reset, it should save. So let's do that. Store position, update, move character. Oh, okay. So we just got store position before we move the character. See how we're doing move character and then store position?
Mm-hmm.
So if we store the position first, then we should be good. It will store the position inside the trigger before it actually resets everything. Didn't do it.
Why?
Huh.
Can you delay the trigger so you stand in it for like 2
Maybe
seconds?
he is in it. Ah, maybe he's in it, but we broke the script, so this was supposed to be not game object.
Here we go. The moment of truth. Will it kill itself? No.
It's like he's on the edge or something.
On the edge. Think if I had an animation, it'd be different.
Possibly.
Because then he'd walk into it instead of just.
I mean, the other alternative here is we destroy him when he runs out of movements. Basically the same thing, right? It's saying he probably hit a trigger, so he should destroy himself. Okay, I think that works. So instead of this, makes this code a little cleaner actually. Then we just have this guy take care of himself here, and so now we need to say we need to check if there's actually something in here. So instead of setting its position, first we will store it as what, a vector 3, and this is next position equals, and then we can say if next position is not equal to null, equals next. This is still going to give us the error though, because it's going to try to look up something that doesn't actually exist here. We'll deal with that in a second. Next, yes. Oh, right.
First, I
didn't destroy it.
Oh my goodness. Rookie mistake.
That's not even parent, it's just him, right?
Game object.
I think transform is what I'm not sure. We'll see.
Trial and error.
Yeah. That was weird. To reset.
Just destroy yourself. Game object?
It's not present in the dictionary. I think it's because it's throwing in exceptions. Yeah, that makes sense. It's throwing in exceptions, so this is not even getting checked. Okay, so there needs to be a safe way to get value or something. Dot values dot contains values. Okay. So
If I was a rich girl.
Contains key.
Next minute. You've done it. It's gonna bring a tear to my eye. I just know it. It's gonna destroy itself. It's gonna work. Unless.
What? Doubt me.
The unless was real.
If you want to destroy the game object, please call it destroy.
You didn't even call it. Did you not call it destroy?
It's because I didn't call it a game object. I called it a transform.
Not a game object, eh?
Can I just call it a game object?
Well, might as well. And if not, transform it. The moment of truth. Actually, it's not the moment of truth. The next one is the moment of truth. Because this one will not destroy it. The next. Oh, I thought he died. I thought he died.
He did.
Oh, sick.
Wait, he also glitched. That was weird.
He's dead. It's happened. No way. Beat him up too.
Oh, but you can't have multiple instances because... so you know what we're forgetting? When we go through the door again, we need to clear all past variants. Unity, destroy all objects with tag.
Wag.
Find objects with tag. Destroy them all. Yeah, we need this. So this happens when you hit the trigger. So before we create a new instance, which happens here, we actually want to destroy all the old ones. So we'll say destroy existing clones. Player clones. I don't need to say existing. Destroy player clones. Okay, and it's gonna go. I don't know what that is.
Capitalize it.
Should it be capitalized? That is a private function. C# is weird. Okay. Create that method. We want it to do this.
Var.
Objects. Oh, this is JavaScript. Freaking JavaScript.
Var.
Object equals. Does not work.
It's Java. Var. Who uses var?
Oh, it just doesn't know what list is. Okay. Collection, buddy. You don't know what a collection is? Oh, it needs to be an array. Okay, so array is just like a basic list. So do array, and then we'll do object array with the type. Also, this is player clone. So it says find all player clone objects, and then for each. We've already written a for each. Remember how to do that? For each
Player clone.
But what is a player clone? It's a game object.
It's an instance.
Game object, player clone. You're right. In game objects. But this shouldn't be called game objects. It should be called player clones. So for each player clone,
player clone instead of game object.
This garbage.
What was that? What was on my face?
Player clone dots game object.
Yes, yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And then Control K, Control D.
Woo!
Destroy player clones.
Backspace.
And then what is this? We can put these in methods too. This is create new player clone.
Yeah. The instance of a person.
Create new player clone. Okay. And we'll only want to do that if we actually already existed in that time. In this case, we're always going back to the same time, so I already existed there. But at some point in the future, if I go to a future time that I've never been to, and then I go back to that, like we'll have to have a check here if I should actually create a clone or not. But I think it's fine for now.
Of course.
Create player clone, and then what else? Change time, reset position, starting position equals starting. So this is resetting position and resetting the time. So this is all about what? Resetting. Oops. It's teleport, right? Or it's time travel. Well, a lot of this is doing time travel, I guess, but travel. It's like travel, right? What's happening? Draw travel to. We should be passing in this time. Okay, so you want to travel to this time where you move your position and reset the clock and set your new position, then reset the position. Okay. Reset position. What does reset position do? This sets up the time machine stuff. Maybe this could be named differently. Should reset position. This is like. Set new time instance. Save. What is it really? It's like save the positions you took. Reset position. It's really this one's like time travel. Nuts. I just want to rename. Why do they make it so hard to rename? Fix name? Sure. I actually want to change it to something else. Rename. I want to rename. This stuff doesn't need renames. Rename. Change signature. Yeah, signature can have a different name. Whatever. Okay. This is save time travel. Whatever. That's fine for now. And this thing is not gonna know what that is. Good enough for now. Okay, if I walk through again, it should delete that one. There should only be one. Right?
Yeah, there's only one.
Okay.
Now he's back. Now he's back. There's always one. And then he comes again. Every time he runs to the door, he resets.
That's a weird glitch that happens sometimes. You gotta figure that one out. Why does it reset me? Maybe they're colliding or something.
There's always only one. And then he deletes himself. Yes!
Alright, so I'm gonna go through and then I'm gonna touch the back wall. Touch the back wall, then reset.
It's not gonna happen. He has to destroy himself.
See what he does. Does he touch the back wall?
Nope.
Does he stand or... Why's that glitch?
No, he's touching the back wall.
Okay, what about this corner? Can we get him to stand in the corner until 7:28:20?
Boom. 20. 22, 23, 24. Just going straight to that door. Oh, no. He's going to the corner. He's vibing in the Ritz car. 6. And I'm like, oh, hey, it's 20. Time to go. But then you're like, no, it's 23. We gotta go now. Boom. Dead. Wonderfully.
It's pretty good.
Work.
Cool. Good work. All right, play us out.
Play it. Hey, loud mama, like when I whisper in your ear. You know that song?
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Later. That's our day. How about this song? This is our outro song.
The welcome sign.
I forget which one it is. It's a Street Text glitch.
Dun, 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 dun,
Peace.
dun,
Thanks
dun,
for watching.
dun, 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 dun. Bah, bah.